Just a bloke in a bar.
Welcome to another episode of Bloke in a Bar. We will be, after this episode, we'll be taking 2 to 3 weeks off. Are we recording, Matty? We'll be taking 2 to 3 weeks off. It's been an incredible season, but I feel guilty about doing it, I honestly do, but it's kind of forced. Need to take a few weeks off to recharge the batteries. But what a season, boys.
Hell of a season.
Hell of a season.
This is your best season to date, surely. When we talk about, like, you know, Cleary probably had the best season of his career, Cody Walker. This is your Cleary moment, do you think?
Look, if they were handing out Daley M's for dribble and yarn, we'd be fucking scooping them.
Oh, yeah, we'd scoop all of them. Every single one. It's been a hell of a footy season for Tom and I.
Yeah.
Hell of a season. It's been good to bloody sit up here and, you know, sit in the saddle with you, big fella. It's been a hell of a time.
Yeah.
But you go recharge the batteries.
You got to recharge your batteries.
You have to.
We don't. We never stop. Just, you know, obviously, you obviously had a tough...
Like, some people need to recharge
Some people need to recharge
Others
batteries. Some people have a different constitution. We obviously, no weeks off, no days off. We just keep fucking rolling.
5 years straight.
Bang.
Unchecked.
Bang. Bang. We are... I mean, put us on SAS.
How do you do it?
Not literally on SAS.
How do we do it?
How do you do it?
We're just a different breed of motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Some people just have it.
Yeah.
Like, just have a fucking insatiable, unquenchable thirst for fucking ripping and tearing.
Where do you think this work ethic came from, where you are just pedal to the metal 24/7 for the last 5 years? Where do you think it came from?
It's hard to nail down one thing over another.
Is it genetic? I don't know. It might be genetic, Eddie. I don't know.
If it's not genetic, it's intrinsic.
Yeah.
You know? It's one of the two.
It's something. It's something.
You know what I mean? You ever heard... Have you ever heard... Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. It's like that.
Yeah, maybe they're born.
Okay.
Maybe it's dribbling yarn.
Mate, you know what? You're speaking a lot of sense there. Speaking a lot of sense. Would you say you're like the Gary V of the podcast game?
Nah. That guy's lame.
Oh, don't say that. Poor Gary V. But he loves to grind. You just grind as hard as...
No, he's all right. But
I've never actually watched Gary Vee, so I'm not going to judge him one way or the other. We might be more the David Gogginses.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, I can see
but
that.
less serious.
Less serious.
They're both quite serious.
Yeah.
But we've got their tenacity.
David Goggins, I'm a fan of.
Yeah.
You know.
I saw a video the other day.
Stay
of him.
hard.
Yeah. He was riding the other day after a knee surgery that takes like 8 months to recover, and it was like 3 months after it. It was on his Instagram, and he was riding a 400-mile bike race or some shit. And you're like, this guy's a psycho. But
Watch
I was
that
like,
on this.
I was like, I was at the bike thing.
Yeah, you watched it here.
Oh, there you go.
But as we said at the time,
It reminded me of me.
Yeah.
And Eddie now.
okay, okay.
Just never,
It's
no
like,
days off.
You know, it's like when my alarm
okay.
goes off at 3 a.m. and I'm just bang,
Ready to
bolt
go.
upright. And I'm like, I'm
Content,
ready.
podcast.
You're like, ring Tom. You're like, what should we talk about?
What are we doing? Let's get it. Fucking post
Stay hard.
Post something, bro.
Post something, bro. What's the fucking tag going to be?
That's it.
That's
till
how we
12,
do it.
Till 12 a.m. and then
You
we
know
get
what?
3 hours shut and we go again.
I could learn a lot. You
could learn a lot from us.
But, you know, obviously...
It'll cost you, though.
Next 2 to 3 weeks, there'll be no podcast, but obviously you'll still get all your content on Bloke in a Bar. You know, all your updates, and we'll be focusing on other sports that are happening. But before we get started, thank you so much for the season, guys. It's been a huge season, record everything, and that's all thanks to you guys. It's actually bizarre to think that we're a genuine alternative, if you will, to some of the big networks. I actually remember I had a meeting with some two like guys in the industry like 3 or 4 years ago, probably 4 years ago now, maybe even 5. And I said, I want to be the next online Fox Sports. Like that's I want to be equal to them, but online. They literally laughed in my face and they said that can't happen. And I was like, whoa, man, that's crazy.
Laughing in someone's face is when they're like sharing their dreams is very hectic.
He was like 45 years old, deep in the industry, laughed in a young whippersnapper.
Just a young whippersnapper.
Would have been like 29 or something, 28 even.
Youngish.
Just with a glazy-eyed dream in front of me. And he laughed at me. But you know what that was? He was just scooping fuel. He was scooping fuel into my fire.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, a lot of those boys, Penrith boys, they got a lot of fuel scooped into their fire. A lot of them posting about Kenty, you're done.
I know. That was... It's funny though, you don't even realise like would that sort of shit have been showed by coaches at training, or just because everyone heard it, it would have been like...
I think it would have been showed. I just think the messenger, I think a lot of other people would have said, I don't think they're going to, you know, go, I don't think they're going to make it or whatever, because it's Paul Kent that has probably said other things like, they're a bit arrogant or this, that, and next thing.
Yeah.
I think it was just the messenger saying that about them would have spurred them on. Clearly, it did spur them on.
Yes.
Because they all put it in their stories.
But like, as a coach, would Ivan use little things like that to motivate? Trying to get them up and about?
Get them up and about.
Fucking
Look
oath.
at this dickhead said.
Yeah.
Like an oath. I think someone was telling a story of Ricky Stuart would like make shit up just to pump the
Really?
boys up. Yeah. He'd be like, oh, that fucking guy said this about you.
Well, what about Michael Jordan in The Last Dance? Like, would just create rivalries with people?
Yeah.
Like, this motherfucker.
But how do
said
you
this.
trick yourself
I
into
don't
creating a
know.
rivalry you know isn't real and then going, this motherfucker?
Well,
You
that's
have to
the
almost-
genius of it.
That's the genius of it.
Hypnotise yourself.
I think it's more like he says it to himself, but then he just kind of like stokes that little fire. And then it's not even about that anymore. It's just like, I hate the guy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, you get a week of stoking a fire. By the end of the week, it's roaring.
It's
you don't
raging.
you don't even know it started. It's just a fucking, you hate the guy.
I like it.
Yep, well, it fucking worked.
It certainly did work. They were all. I mean, did Kenty? I went to watch NRL 360 last night. I believe it was the season finale, Devo, but he didn't mention it. I would love to him to steer into that and be like, well, fuck it,
Yeah, that would be great.
It's fun.
I think, like, if he steers into that,
It makes him more personable.
exactly, you get way more fans. And even the players would be like, fair enough.
Fair call, yeah.
But the fact that you just like, so he didn't say anything?
Nah, he did.
Didn't watch the
He
whole
did.
episode.
He did?
Oh,
He did right
did?
at the end of Von Samson brought it up.
I didn't watch the
Yeah,
whole
Yvonne
way.
Samson brought, of course,
Yeah.
she's so good. She's so good.
There's nothing wrong
She's
with
great.
steering into it.
Steer into
Joey
it.
Johns was like, fucking South will go loss, they're
Yeah,
out. And
yeah.
then he said that they'd win the fucking
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
He's been wrong the whole final series. He doesn't give a shit.
What
He's
did he
like,
say at the
What did he
end?
say?
So basically, Von Samson just posted it and said, I think some of the Penrith players are posting about you, Kenny. And he just shook his head and he goes, oh, yeah, bit of egg on my face. And then he's kind of like, the one that laughs last laughs the hardest kind of thing.
But steer into it more than that.
Yeah.
Give
That's
like,
like, at least it was acknowledged, but
but
and
the,
again, I
the
didn't watch the full
acknowledgement,
episode.
the acknowledgement needs to be, I was wrong. Like as in,
more self-depreciating.
Like, yeah,
how,
like-
if you're able to come out so like feverishly and be like, they're done, they're fucking done it, and then be like, well, Jesus Christ, I was like, you sort of almost need the same energy when you're
exactly. Like you need to be sitting there going, it's incredible what they did. I wrote them off. I was 100% wrong. Like it's rather than, I got a bit of egg on my face. Like, yeah, you've got to have that same energy when you actually do the whole admitting it.
said, though, I'm sure that someone would be able to find examples of you and I.
But I don't
passionately.
pretend to be a fucking professional.
No,
You know
you're
what I mean?
right. We're not professionals.
I'm not a professional. So my job is dribble and yarn, which I provide time and time again. But like, if I get a fucking prediction wrong, it's because I don't know what I'm talking about.
I think
I
there's
told you that at the start.
There's a big difference between they're done and, do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're done
Yeah.
and I don't think,
I don't think
they
they'll
can
win.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
There's a
yeah,
big
yeah.
difference. And what's funny about it is Kenty has seen some winters.
Yeah, so he knows.
He's seen many winters, and
Yes.
he should be the first to know that you're not always fucking done, mate.
Nah, no
like the
way.
Eels were always done, for example.
The Eels were always
Panthers weren't
So
always
if they
done.
win a premiership, there's going to be, you're going to have to go deep in, like the energy, you know what, you're going to have to
Mate,
dedicate a
if they
whole
win-
fucking episode.
If they win one, hands will go up.
Hands will go up, we
were
take
wrong.
A
licks.
whole episode to taking licks?
Fucking oath.
Because you've gone
We do it
pretty
all the time.
hard.
Yeah.
We take licks better than
Okay.
anyone.
After Manly lost, we got licked for like 45 minutes. It was just lick after
We just said
lick after-
we said leave them all in.
So you're the best lick taker in the game, you reckon?
Yeah.
Fucking better than Kenty. You talk
No,
about
no,
it
no,
for
we're the
fucking
best.
5 seconds.
What do you got there, mate?
We're the best.
I was just going to say, back to coaches using that kind of stuff to fuel their team. When I worked at New South Wales Rugby League, the North Sydney Bears coach rang me and asked me to write an article like saying how shit their team was so he could print it out and put it all over his change room.
What?
Yeah.
Did you do it?
Yeah, 100%.
So,
There you go.
so it's like a fake article, wasn't published anywhere?
No, I published it on the New South Wales Rugby League website.
Holy shit.
What?
Yeah, just saying how bad they've been, how like,
But they'd been bad, obviously.
they'd been like pretty bad, but he said, yeah, just absolutely
But that's
roast
the
them.
deep web of conspiracies. If you ever thought there was no agendas in rugby league, like,
Fuck, I
holy
mean,
shit.
Even in the New South Wales Rugby League, like even in the second tier of the competition,
where it,
where it
where it's a long way from the bright lights of the NRL.
look, and this is no disrespect to Matty's journalism, which I'm sure is of the highest standard, despite the fact that he just writes random
Has
bullshit
no
articles.
integrity
Has no
whatsoever.
integrity whatsoever.
Ask him to.
Yeah,
Wait,
sweet.
write this, right?
But like, I'm probably not reading articles about the North Sydney Bears season. So, like, to know that it's even going on in those lower levels, you're like, fuck, how much of it's just happening right in front of our faces? And you don't.
So you thinking Ivan Cleary may have reached out to Kenny and said, "Oh, Kenny, can you say we're done?"
Say we're done, dude.
Possibly.
They
Sounds
might be fucking
like bang on.
They might go on family holidays together. You know what I mean? Who the fuck knows?
Well, he might be like, mate, do you want the fucking good oil next year
Yes.
or not?
Yeah.
Because if you want it, you'll fucking ride it.
Yeah.
Say we're done.
Say we're done.
Because you could argue, as I argued before, he's seen a lot of winners.
He's seen a fucking lot of winners.
Does he look at that side and actually think they are 100% finished?
I don't know
Probably
anyone that
not.
could. I think Ivan's done the old.
If I wasn't,
No. Well,
I don't know what-
you guys did pick South.
was it because I'm not a patternist?
That's true. You're not a patternist.
He literally said that. He
I said I'm
literally
not a
said.
patternist,
No,
but
that's
I've
true,
got to
you
lean
did.
into it because it's a giggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That was the only reason he chose South.
Yeah.
It's
My
'cause
bad
it's a
even
giggle.
bet. Guess what my bad even bet was? 1 to 12 Penrith, unders, Cleary man.
See?
Cleary man of the match.
See, like that's
Because
how
I knew, because when it's my own money, I know I'm not a patternist.
but that's how committed to dribble you are.
Yeah.
That's how you're willing to put out a what
I'll
you think
take
is
an L
yeah.
for a giggle.
Okay. I mean,
Not a problem.
I tell you what, like your work ethic, your lessons that you're teaching me about work ethic,
Yeah.
your lick taking is the best in the country. You basically said
on the planet.
On the planet, you said that you'd scoop the Daley M's if there was a Daley M for podcaster, and also taking L's for dribble. Like, it's a fucking big year for you boys.
Yeah. And look, I mean, we couldn't have done it without the punter and the dribbler. Obviously, you, Denon, Matty, to a lesser degree.
I mean, he's replaceable.
He's certainly like.
But he has played his role.
Yeah, it's a replaceable role though.
Yeah.
It's definitely one that could.
Look,
be
it's replaceable. Sure.
We're taking resumes for next year.
Yeah. We're always open to hear what what your skill set is. But yeah, it's been a good one.
Good year.
Good year.
Hell of a year.
Hell of a year.
Thank
Year of the
you.
pun and the dribbler. But guess what?
Yeah. Guess what?
What?
Next year
Oh,
is
fuck.
also the year of the pun and the dribbler. I know it's crazy.
First time, I think it's the Chinese calendar where they got the year of the whatevers.
Yes.
It's the Chinese calendar.
That
That's
is right, yes.
First time in their history that they're 3 straight years of the punter and the dribbler. Because
Yeah.
last year was the year of the punter and the dribbler as well. Funnily enough, it was a fluke. This year, same thing. Next year, I'm seeing it again.
Yeah, I'm saying it.
Why is it connected to the Chinese New Year though? You know what I mean? Where's the connection there, or is it just a universal thing?
Well, that's just the way that it's when you go like the
Well, they had like the
of
year of the pig, the year of the rat and stuff. Like, I mean,
You
that's
could
all
argue.
just...
You could argue pigs are also punter and dribblers.
Well, they are certainly are. Swine love to punt and dribble.
They do. Look, if you look below one level, look below the surface, all we're saying is apparently next year looks like it's going to be the year of the punt and the dribble as well. Yeah. That's all we're saying. And it would be the first time in history that 3 years back-to-back simultaneously have been the year of the punt and the dribbler.
Mate, it's exciting times. But we will be back in 2 to 3 weeks. So, I mean, it's not really that long of a break. And we'll be talking all the footy news that's happened over the last 2 weeks. We'll lean a bit into cricket. I'll probably have to learn the game a bit better. You guys are a bit more versed in that. Do a bit of NFL if we can. So don't worry, guys. We're only going to be gone for 2 to 3 weeks, but we just want to say thank you so much for all the support this year. It's been incredible. And hopefully we can repay that faith by going bigger and better next year. Just before we get into it, the stores that we have a spotlight on.
We've all been waiting for.
Louis Liquor Barn Cairns, Eagle Tavern, Eagleby. Super Barn Express Red Hill, Liquor Barons Wembley Downs. Beach House Hervey Bay, Hotel Metropole Proserpine, Celebrations Wadalba, Celebrations Scone, Mona Cellars All Stores Victoria, Crown West Bodlow, Harry's Liquor Blacktown, Porter's Liquor Glebe.
He definitely read that.
That
before.
is the first time I've ever read that. And
Bullshit.
nailed
I'll
it.
tell you why.
Nailed
I know
it.
that he fucking read that before. If you were to pick one of them, which one do you reckon it was that I know that gave it to me? Like, as for why I know he read it. You don't have to get it right. He just breezed straight through it, and I'm like, that would have been the biggest one, and I don't buy it.
Wadalba?
Thank you, Eddie. That's why you fucking know me. Wadalba. There's no way that he just rolls out Wadalba.
Also, just monotone. Louis Liquor Barn Cairns, Super Barn Express Red Hill. Because you wanted to get it right, and I respect that.
Look,
But it was a giveaway.
I just think that you guys can't accept the fact that I've left my best game for my last game.
No,
it's the grand final, last game of the season. I don't put out a fuel, mate. I get the job done all the way till the end. I've clearly gotten better as the year has gone on, and I think next year I'm going to be able to read at least fucking 20 of them an episode.
Okay.
So get down to those guys. Grab a case of Bloke and a Bar. Also, one of the boys' t-shirts are available on www.bloke.shop. The tan have all sold out. The brown have all sold out except for 1 or 2 sizes. So make sure to get them before they sell out, guys. But let's get into grand final chat. A bit of accountability. Panthers defeat South 14-12. Cleary, man of the match. Tom. Panthers 20, South 12. Cleary, man of the match. Eddie, South 20. Panthers 6 with Walker, man of the match. But that was a joke. So that doesn't count.
No excuses.
So I'm actually right.
So he's actually right because it was a joke. So I'm actually going to give a point to Eddie and half a point for you.
No, I've got 3 points.
No, you missed the score though. You missed the score.
I've got Panthers to win, that's 1. South to score 12 points, 2.
Nah,
Cleary man of the match, 3.
No, you got Cleary man of the match, half a point.
1
but because he was willing to take an L for...
Fuck, I made jokes
for
on
a
my
giggle.
other ones.
No. He gets the 1
This is
point.
horseshit.
So you're on half a point.
I'm on 3 points. I might be winning the whole thing after that.
I don't know about that.
No, you don't.
Denon, South 18, Panthers 10
Wrong.
with Murray man of the match. Now, I think Murray was the people's man of the match, so I think that's half a point for me.
Definitely not.
And I had the scores closest together, so that's also another
I
point.
had the scores closest
So
together.
half a point, and a point.
I got 3 points.
No, I don't think so.
Everyone at home knows.
So I would win, I think.
No, I win
The
with
final series.
I think he wins.
I think I got like 10 points.
Killed it.
When it was all said and done.
I definitely didn't win the final series, but I did save my best work for the final, for the one that counted.
But this is my accountability. Like, you don't get to make the rules on my accountability.
Well, I actually think that I do because I've been getting fucked every week, and now is my time. It's my time. It's my time.
Let us know in the comment section if you believe Tom
Is
should
it Tom's
win.
time?
Is it Tom's time to win
or did he
accountability?
lose this final series?
Or did he lose the final series?
I definitely lost the final series.
And
but
he's a
did I
sore
win
loser.
The
And
grand
it's the final move of a desperate man trying to stay relevant.
Sore loser, or it's his time? Let us know.
I would like to point out as well that I was warmed to read the comment section last week to see the overwhelming support for riding a penis at the base and holding
There-
onto
it
the
was
pube
not
for the
overwhelming
mane.
at
It
all.
was overwhelming.
No, it wasn't.
Serious?
Overwhelming.
It was like one
I
person.
was
It was one
moved.
person,
I was
yeah.
moved to tears.
Oh my god!
There was
Literally
one
one person.
person.
Everyone else
Overwhelming.
said.
You guys obviously aren't reading the comments.
Everyone else
engaging
was like,
with the
"Has he
audience.
ever ridden a dick before?" Clearly not.
Not that way, but everyone else.
Someone
you know,
did send in a very humorous photo of Tom sitting at the back of a shaft
Yeah.
in his little fucking harness racing seat,
Yeah.
which was cute.
It was cute.
That is
but that
cute.
was a support.
Yeah, no, that was one of the. That was one.
No, but that was.
example.
But we already established that if you were riding it like at the trots, that's where you'd be sitting.
Yeah, well,
in your
I mean,
little seat.
you're
But
just.
you didn't say trots. You just said
Yeah.
horse riding.
All I'm saying is, I was warmed. It warmed my heart to see the outpouring of support and love for riding the penis by the base and holding onto the mane as the pubes. That's all I'm saying.
Now, coming out of the game, Peter Sterling has said the Bulldogs are the real winners out of Penrith's decision not to release Burton early. Now, Matt has just wrote him, so that's an error from Matt, -5 points for you.
Yep.
We are talking about Burton. Do you agree with Sterling's comments that it's actually much better that he got development for another whole season at the Penrith Panthers rather than going Dogs early? Also, could you imagine if he had released early and Panthers won that premiership?
Bruh, 100% it's better for the Bulldogs that he didn't go early. You're now getting a premiership winner. He knows what it takes to win comps.
Daley M centre as well.
Dally M Centre. And he would have gone to the fucking Bulldogs and played in just one of the great horse shit sides of all time. No disrespect, obviously. And, you know, played out for like for a spoon. It was like literally a spoon or a prem.
That's crazy.
There's no quicker way to beat down a man's spirit than by winning a spoon. So it's
Or sending him to the Tigers.
well, much the same. But, you know, it's a masterstroke. Comes in premiership hardened with the fucking ring on the finger. Played the GF, won, knows what it takes.
Scored a try.
Scored a great try. Fuck, he's quick. And he'll be better for the run. He'll
Yeah.
be better for the season. I
Dally
think
M
it's a fucking
centre.
masterstroke. And now Bulldogs pick him up, a guy who's turned into an out-and-out throbber. And for what? 600?
Mate, not if that, honestly, because
I think it was
he was in
500.
reserve grade when he got signed. It's crazy. Great
Fucking-
signing.
It's a hell of a buy.
Hell of a buy.
Whoever pulled that together needs a pat on the back.
It's got to be Barrett because he was with him the year before.
Trez.
Got to be Hot Boy.
Good, Trent. Good. Very good.
Yeah, I agree with Sterling though. Like, even though the intention from Penrith wasn't like, we're here, we're trying to develop the player for you. They were like, we're trying to win prems here. The result is the same. I think his development is massive. I think his confidence will be much bigger having being a premiership winner.
Oh, yeah.
You know, imagine him going halfway through the season to the Dogs. Like, he would never have that year of elite footy under his belt. Now he knows what it is like to win a premiership, you know? Now, on to, I think this is the biggest news. I think this eclipses everything. The great Brian To'o. Now, I said this on my last podcast, but is it the height of manhood to go win a prem, walk off the field, blood trickling down your face, huge PCMs, the most metres of any player on the field, and then go, you know what? I'm going to propose to my lovely partner.
It was beautiful. It was heartwarming. It was rugby league. And I did like the shot. Someone sent me a great photo of him on his knees proposing, and then just in the background, you just see Danny Weidler.
Yeah.
He managed to get into the shot.
Unbelievable.
He could smell it. He could smell a story.
Yeah.
Do you know what I think Brian was doing? And this is just, I'm speculating here, but I think I'm pretty close. I think he's looked at what the great Leighton Hewitt did in 2005 when he made the Australian Open final, and he proposed afterwards to Beck.
Did he really? I didn't remember that.
But he lost. And I think Brian was like, I can one-up that. I can go one better.
Right. Don't do it before you win. Wait till you have a famous win and then do it.
Wow. So he's learnt from...
Was Brian going to ask her last year?
Well, apparently Brian was going to
true.
do it. Apparently he was going to do it at Game 3 of State of Origin, and then they lost, and he went, nah, fuck
Is that the yarn?
Yeah.
Because he's seen...
Yeah, okay.
Like Leighton is happily married. Like he's got a great life with Beck of fucking home and away
Home and away fame. Beck Cartwright, now Hewitt.
That's right. Yeah, Beck knee Cartwright. But he's like, I want the better outcome.
Yeah.
I want the ultimate outcome. Do it after a W.
So are you thinking that if they don't win that prem, they might not get married for the next 10 years if they don't win a prem?
I think you wait till they win a prem. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
That proposal hinged on a ring. They both needed rings.
Both needed rings.
So Brian Todd is just playing footy for the next 20 years, trying to win a prem so he can propose to his missus.
Well, you want to talk about motivating?
Yeah.
That's a hell of a motivation.
Nothing motivates like a misso who's waiting for you to drop the knee.
Like
me.
The hole that fucking thing burns in your pocket is like you just want to get it off your person. You want to get rid of it. So
holy shit.
Imagine what that does. Like that's why he's played such good
That's why he's run so many metres. He's like...
Because last year he didn't win the comp. He's like, fuck, I got to rip and tear. And then Game 3 Origin doesn't get it done. So the back half of his year, he's just had to fuck.
So he's been carrying that ring around for about 2 years now.
Yeah, it's been in his pocket the whole time.
Fuck me dead.
He's played what? 40, 50 games
of rugby league football with a diamond in the pocket.
That's right.
Where do you reckon you put it?
I would have thought under the shaft.
Yeah, you tuck it between the shaft and the balls.
I think under the, yeah.
If it's in a box, that's probably the only place you're going to put it.
Surely he took it out of the box though.
Well, I don't know. You want to be safe.
Well, not necessarily.
We're going to bit of strapping tape on the cock.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's a fat one, so I think probably the weight of it might have been able to hold it in place.
You just sort of squash the testes out the side. And
yeah, and just
put the box in and then
and so what?
Hog it over. It's essentially wrapped.
It's
so what? He proposed by like.
Yeah.
Well, I think given that he was, there
were cameras everywhere.
It's grand final day, Suncorp. He's not an uncouth character.
Yeah.
I think he probably.
No, he's all class. He's
a very classy guy.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
That's look again, pure speculation, but I'm usually not far off.
No, sort of like the way like a kangaroo's pouch, little Joey
That's
in
right.
there.
That's right.
That's pure and true. Talk about love, willing to carry that on the field as well. And he ran for 293 metres or something, 80 post contact, 6 tackle breaks.
He could have been the Clive. Again, I don't know what I'm talking about, so I don't know what I'm looking for.
I'd go Cleary, Murray, Burton.
I thought Burton was a shout to get it.
If Walker, it's easy to say it. If Walker doesn't throw the intercept, I'd probably go Walker.
We could have been in there as well.
And they probably would have won it then. Because he was that try he scored.
That try was one of the great tries.
And they barely celebrated it. The commentators were like, oh, and he scored a try.
Yeah, I was like, that's one of the great fucking grand final tries. Like he's in, out, butts, see you later. And
it's like against the other gun, the two guns going at each other.
Yeah.
And he's just gone fucking whooshka and stepped 3 blokes and scored a try. And all Gus was just like, oh, I'm worried that Cleary's injured. And Dylan Edwards looks like he's
Gus was
like, what?
Gus was... I love Gus.
Oh, I love Gus.
I love Gus. But Gus almost shouldn't be allowed to commentate Panthers grand finals.
He's great.
There was a little bias there.
Or you acknowledge it and you go to Gus for bias, you go like, all right, Gus, how are you seeing that? Like, acknowledge what it is that's going on because he was fucking biased as shit.
Yeah.
I don't get angry at it. Some people are like furious. I'm like, relax, it's game rugby league. But
I mean, it's like it's expected. Like what do you he had so much to do with everyone on that field. How can you anyone that says he's not going to be biased is lying because he's just it's like human nature.
To be exactly.
But I don't understand why people have got a problem with the bias. I'm like,
I think if you're a Souths fan, I get it.
They just got to balance it, though. They've got to try to balance it.
You've got to just have him not be his.
We just don't go to him as often.
No, right? I just reckon you've got to have at least someone there that's cluey enough to go, oh, there's a lot of Penrith rhetoric. I've got to come in and I think Joey did do a good job when the Cody Walker did score. He kind of like jumped in and gave the analysis. But I didn't think it was that bad. I really didn't think it was that bad.
People look for it. People look for his bias.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, who else would you have there commentating the game? You've got to have Gus.
You got to have Gus there.
You got to have Gus Gould.
Ornament.
Outside of that, though, there was a few times where he was pretty like South got a dud call, and he was pretty like that's a shit call, like the Dane Gago one.
Yes.
And then the charge down one as well. He was pretty good in those scenarios. Like he wasn't like, oh yeah, let's just let it go. He was like, that's bullshit. So
I think he was good at.
Yeah,
like,
he was pretty good with the charge down.
He was good at like calling. He was good, I think, at like calling out like bad calls, good calls, that sort of shit. It was more just like where his focus and attention was drawn to the majority of the time seemed to be something Penrith related.
It's only natural. It's only natural. But yeah, that Cody Walker try, fuck man.
It was so sick.
Yeah.
Out of nothing.
Yeah,
They were
nothing. Yeah.
Like nothing was on. It was like, oh, he's outside minute shut down. It's just going to be one of the where they get tackled, surrender and go. And he just goes, you know what? Fuck it. Boom. And what's crazy, if they win that grand final, that try is on the highlight reel every single week, every second, just getting fucking...
Mate, every year.
Every year, Cody Walker just going, Boska. But what's also crazy on the other side, the great Cleary playing with a fucking... Like, he needs a shoulder reconstruction.
Now, this is a question, not a judgment. But it's like the shoulder's fucked, right? Obviously, like it needs a full reco. I can only imagine how fucking painful that thing is. Where does it sit on the like Cooper Cronk scale of fuck shoulders? Like, is he at? Because I heard like
nowhere near as bad as Cooper.
So
Cronk.
people go like he basically played with one arm. I'm like, well, did he though? Because like he obviously didn't play with one arm.
Well, he would have got needled up quite a bit. But trust me,
can you still play? Like, so if you're needled up, is your range of movement fucked? But you just aren't in pain.
Oh, it's just weaker.
Yeah, right.
Your arm's just weaker. You're a bit more worried about like people running at that shoulder. Just everything. Everything is not as confident. So it's nowhere near the Cooper Cronk level. Like that
Cooper
was
Cronk's
outrageous.
He was basically like an on-field fucking coach.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He had limited involvement.
The performance from Cleary in that final with Cronk as a passenger just directing things is one of the most underrated performances in grand final ever.
Yeah, it was
like
hectic.
He's the only
so
ball player.
bizarre.
It was crazy. And
I'd never seen anything like that in my life.
No, that was actually such
Like a guy on the field being like...
That was a really
directing play
cool
from
grand
behind.
final
Yeah, sick.
moment where you just got this injured guy. Anyway, not the grand final we're talking about, but
No, it's not.
But yeah, so I mean,
it was fucked. Yeah, again, I wasn't trying to take away from his performance. I was just interested to know like where it's at because I heard people talking about how fucked it was.
yeah, it's like a lot of people do it. Like Kalen Ponga played the rest of last year, I think, with a fuck shoulder. I played a lot of my debut with a lot of my debut year with similar, where I needed a reconstruction at the end of the year.
What's the recovery of a Rico?
Oh, it's fucking. He'll miss the first few games of next year. Yeah,
4 to 6 months.
It's quicker now because the science is way better. But it's a full Rico, like full like my. It's similar to mine. I'm pretty sure it's similar to mine, where like you've got the ball, the shoulder, and then you've got the top of the shoulder, like this bit here, wrapped around the ball, and like it'll keep slipping out. Like when that goes, your shoulder can keep dislocating. Ugh. So like even in my debut, like I went to, they like kicked through, and then I went to grab someone, and it dislocated, was out for a little bit, and it's called like subluxing, and then it comes back in, and it's just like super painful. Now I don't think Cleary ever suffered that. They were really good at, there are also levels. Like his may not have been that bad where it was subluxing a lot. But it's
Benji used to have it early on in his career, didn't he?
Yeah, most players do.
Going.
Most players do.
Does your shoulder still trouble you now?
No, not at all. But it's not like the normal person. Like if a normal person gets a shoulder reconstruction, it's way harder than a professional athlete because a professional athlete, it's your job to rehab that shoulder. Yeah. Whereas a normal person, it's not their job. They got to go fucking work in 4 weeks or whatever it is.
100%.
Whereas like if it's literally your job and you have all this staff around you to rehab your shoulder, sometimes it comes back stronger. So yeah, it's a big effort, but obviously not as big as Cronk. But apparently Edwards played with a broken foot the whole series.
That's crazy.
Ivan,
they were saying was playing on like he was playing on a fucked syndesmosis for the.
Ivan Cleary was saying that like he was like waking up at like 2 a.m. going, fuck, what about like I'm going to lose all my players at the start. Like, am I doing the right thing? So yeah, Penrith were down and out, and that's why I reckon if the game goes for another 10 minutes, I reckon Rabbitohs
storm home
because I just think that the Penrith Panthers were. That was all they had. Like they'd gone through so many hard games. It was a grand final every week for them.
Yeah.
Think about it. Eels. Even that first game against the Rabbitohs, that was hectic. It was like a 16-10, so it was a real close game. Then they went Eels, Storm, and then
Rabbitohs, Eels, Storm, Rabbitohs.
Fuck, crazy.
And the game against the Eels was like
crazy.
It was fucking bashing each other.
Yeah.
And they're now the first team since the Cowboys to lose first week and go on to win it.
I'm not sure.
That is right.
Yeah. So
Well done, Tom.
Yeah, thanks guys.
That's great.
Rugby League Encyclopedia over here.
Who did the Cowboys lose to week 1?
In what 2015?
Yeah.
No idea.
Broncos.
Oh yeah. Okay. Wow.
And then they beat him in the grand final. There you go.
When was the last?
Yeah.
When was the last time you guys in the grand final?
2013.
As in Manly or me personally?
Last grand final for me, I lost Div 3, Centennial Park. I was tagged.
But I thought you were a Div 2 operator, so you lost and then upgraded.
We go up and down. 1, 2, 3, so I just average it out and say Div 2. It's easier.
Just average it out. Yeah.
But during this season, I was in Div 2.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay.
So it wasn't Div 3. So what Div are you in
So
right now?
Well, right now there's no season on.
What about what Div are you going into? Because the Bucks
We
are
don't
coming
know.
back.
They place you.
You're only good as your last game. What was your last game in?
Div 2.
Div 2, okay. Is that where you feel you
But my
led?
last grand final was in Div 3.
Okay. And you lost it or won it?
We lost. Driving rain. Couldn't perform in the wet.
Not a wet weather team?
I thought the tag of the Bucks is the Bucks perform well in the wet.
Yeah, it's all bullshit. It's all complete bullshit. We won one grand final in the wet and then haven't done so well.
Fucking hell.
Yeah,
That's
tough.
Yeah,
No, it's not about me.
Now, one of the big yarns coming out of this grand final that, I mean, a couple yarns, but one of the biggest yarns. So Cleary and Luai are the first New South Wales Origin plus Premiership winning halves pairing since Daley and Stuart. On top of that, Cleary,
Wow.
and on top of that, Cleary is one of like when you compare his career to like the greats, he's actually winning premierships at the same age as Joey won his premiership. You know, you had Thurston who won off the bench, but as leading the team, he didn't win till later in his career. He's actually winning premierships like right now on paper, his career is as good as any of the greats. Now, obviously, you could throw in some players have won the Daley M, but then they haven't won a premiership. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things that other players did that he didn't, but then he's won a premiership, he's won Origin. He would have been picked for Australia if there wasn't COVID. He's been Daley M halfback of the year 2 years in a row, came runner-up 2 years in a row. Like, his career at the moment, trajectory-wise, is on
he's
the
on
path of
like all-timer.
GOAT.
All-timer trajectory.
Thoughts on that?
It's pretty cool. I think, and again, it's like Ricky, Joey, premierships, and Dally M's. I believe Dally M's at least before they were 25. He's now doing
I think only Freddie has like a hectic record where he like won when he was like 18 or some shit.
Freddie was playing when he was like 17.
Yeah, he
Captain
won a
New
comp.
South Wales at 21 or something crazy.
He's a psycho. But never won a Dally M.
Which is, that's the system's fucked. Brad Fittler didn't win a Dally M. Come on now. That's crazy to me.
Mate, at the end of the day, he's fucking ripping and tearing.
Yeah.
And it's good to see.
We were saying that now, like after he's got the monkey off the back from a premiership perspective, whether he now like ascends into like, you know that meme where it's like the brain gets like more.
Oh,
of the
yeah.
fucking,
Imagine how scary he's going to be with the prem off his back.
Mate, an unshackled man at 23 in the fucking... Not even for a half in the prime of your life yet. You know what I mean? Like, he's just going to fucking... Because it could... I imagine it can play with your psyche a little bit.
Well, I reckon he plays
if
a
you
lot of...
haven't won a comp and you should have, and everyone's fucking talking about it every
You lose
fucking
two
week,
comps
and
in
you've
a row,
lost
that
two, and
fucks
you've
you
lost
up.
grand finals, that would fuck you up, I reckon.
Absolutely. And even like, you play a lot safer footy because you're like... you know, there's always that in your back of your head, I'm just trying to do the 1%ers to get where we need to go. But now that he's won the Prem, he'll probably play a lot more free-flowing kind of footy. What do you got there, Matt?
I was going to say, just about Freddie, he didn't win Dally M, but he won a Dally M position of the year in 3 different positions.
He won Dally M in 3 different positions.
A Dally M position of the year in 3 different positions. And then, like, centre was a couple of times, 5'8" was a couple of times.
So centre 5'8" back row?
Lock, yeah.
But he never won the Dally M. Whereas, like, Thurston, won, like, 4 Dally M's or something crazy?
4.
Yep.
Joey
won 3.
Joey won 3.
Should have won 4.
What's crazy is, like, when you look at it, like, Cleary, he probably should have won last year. Like, in my opinion, I thought he was the best player. And then this year, it took Tom Trbojevic fucking
15-game masterpiece.
Crazy. Actually, Rugby League Guru came up with a good stat where if you average out, have you heard this?
Yeah.
So for people listening, if you average out Tom Trbojevic per game Dally M points, which is 2.2, he would have had 50 Dally M points. And the highest ever is like 37 or something
36.
from Thurston, 36.
And Tommy got 32 off 15 games. And Thurston got 36 off 22 games or whatever.
Far out.
So I think it's safe to say that Tommy got 50 Dally M points this year.
So actually, instead of Tommy being worth 40 points a game, he's actually worth 50 Dally M points.
50 Dally M points.
Yeah.
40 points a game, 50 Dally M points a season.
You can use whatever number you'd like. They're still fucking impressive.
Oh yeah. But yeah, Cleary, I just think we're so lucky to be aware that we may be witnessing greatness. Sometimes I feel like you don't actually know that it's happening when it's happening. But I think because he's ticking all the boxes, you're going, fuck, are we watching like a future GOAT? And also, on top of that, like what Joey got a lot of praise for, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Joey got a lot of praise because although Newcastle had good players, it wasn't this like crazy stacked roster that he just happened to take to a premiership. Like he took a team that was solid to a premiership, and it was off the back of him. You look at Penrith, last year they only had 2 people in the Origin squad, and it was Isaiah Yeo making his debut. If you take it that, they only had Cleary that was in the Origin squad. Outside of that, now they've got like 6 or 7. So Cleary has gone in 36 months. He's taken a team that mid-table team. Yes, they were coming 4th, but they would usually end the year at mid-table, like 6 to 10 or whatever. All the way to now everyone is playing rep footy, you know?
Can I ask a question then about Cleary? Slight devil's advocate. Obviously, his achievements can't be questioned. But in that game, and I don't have the stats, so do your own research, and everything I say comes from a man who doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He didn't, like, outside of his kicking, he didn't have a try assist, and he had, like, maybe 10 missed tackles, I think. Obviously, the kicking was, like, what everyone's talking about, being elite. When you talk about Joey was, and he had no try assists. Like Joey was could defend his dick off, could set up tries, was flashy, like could do all this crazy shit. Obviously, again, very early in his career, so you can't compare like full career Joey to 23-year-old Cleary. But like, do you think that is something that he's lacking, or like
a different player?
Right,
He's just a different player, different time, different player. Like he's not like Joey. He's more like Cooper Cronk, but they're just different players.
Yeah.
I think there'd probably be parts of Cleary's game that may be better than Joey's game. Like maybe he's a better organiser. Like I'm not saying he is. They're just different players. And also you got to remember there was a period there where they were absolutely fucking ussing teams, and him and midway through the year, or even like 3/4 through the year, him and Tyrone Luai were both leading the comp for try assists, first and second. So that he can do that.
Yeah.
The way the Penrith Panthers played towards the end of the year, because the attack wasn't clicking, was very defensive orientated. Like really, there was only 1 try assist in the game. Really, like one or two. Like no one got more than 1 try assist.
Yeah,
I think Jerome Luai got 1. Cody Walker got a try, but he didn't even get the try assist because it was actually Gay Guy that passed at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like someone was 3 try assists or whatever.
Just weren't coming from him. And then with his kicking game. Like, as a dead shit, I can tell when someone's like, it's a good kicking game. But I don't think, and maybe it was because I wasn't of completely sound mind when watching the game, but was it one of the great, I think I heard someone say it was like one of the greatest kicking performances of all time.
Yeah, it was outrageous.
It was
outrageous.
Okay.
Like, he was landing the ball a metre from the try line, a metre from the sideline. Even Tyrone Luai was doing some really good kicking as well. No, it was crazy good kicking game. Like, even his standard kicks were massive floaters.
Yeah.
The kicking game was the difference, because without good kicking, you can't get field position. You can have the best kick chase in the world and the best defence in the world, but if you aren't making sure that they're never getting past their 20-metre line or putting it in positions where they've got to work hard out of, it was a masterclass in kicking. Matter of fact, the best part of Cleary's final series push was his kicking. Like, it was like his kicking game was. It's like you could look at Cam Murray. He had that line break, but in attack he didn't really do that much. But his defence was so outrageous. I just think it was a game that it was so close that there wasn't really much space. It took a guy like Cody Walker, who's now got the record for most try assists ever, to break the game open. That's how high quality the defence was.
Yep.
And it took him to throw an intercept to
exactly
trying to push that final pass.
That's how hard it was.
Going. Yeah.
And that all stems from the pressure that Cleary put them under with his kicking game. Like, Cody Walker probably doesn't push that pass if he hadn't spent the last 60 minutes trying to get out of his own end constantly and them just getting bashed conconstantly.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what happened.
Exactly. So, yeah, his kick, he was a masterclass. Absolutely. Every kick, people don't understand how hard it is. If it's a metre longer, it's 7 sets, or it's 20-metre restart, or it's out in the full. So, or Jerome Luai even. I think Jerome Luai had one of his most understated good performances as well. Like, just did his job, and his kicking game was also really good. They just complemented each other. So, yeah, it was a masterclass in kicking. It was a master. Now, is he Joey with the ball? No. I think Cody Walker's closer to Joey with the ball when it comes to,
ball playing.
Well, I mean, in that game, Joey probably would have done what Cody did, was just say, you know what, we're under the pump, we've got nothing doing, we've been fucking smashed for 20 minutes, I'm going to score a fucking 40-metre try by show and go, fend, and make the try. So I actually think Cody Walker's probably a more apt comparison to play style. I think that Cleary is like if Joey and Cooper Cronk had a baby. That's what I think.
How would that work?
Well, I mean, science. That's how it works.
So you'd have to milk them though, right?
I'll do that.
And then do we splice the DNA?
Look, I mean, we can get into details if you want, but we're here for rugby league.
I mean, I'm just trying to... I think this is a rugby league discussion. How are we splicing the DNA of Joey Johns and Cooper Cronk if they're not getting milked? And I'm just trying to...
No, I said I'll milk them.
So you will milk them?
Easily, definitely.
Okay.
Someone needs to be the milkman.
Someone has to be the milkman.
I'll be the milkman.
That's what we're saying.
Okay.
Look, they've cloned sheep. You can splice humans.
Yeah.
But you do need a milkman.
Yeah.
Well, look, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Perfect.
All right.
Settle.
Do you know Joey or Coops at all?
I know Joey. I don't know Coops. So I can certainly let Joey know that you just head round to his house.
Whatever you want.
Okay.
Whatever suits Joey.
Well, he's got one of those letter slips in the door, so he just puts it through there, and then you just get to work. However you need to do it. I don't.
Well, no, it's all him. I want him to be comfortable.
But I wouldn't tell a milkman how to milk, is what I'm saying.
No, fuck no.
Oh no, I know how to milk.
You also don't tell a goat how to be milked.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's a height of disrespect. Yeah.
You don't tell a goat how to be milked.
No.
Honestly, that's a fucking fast way to getting a punch in the face.
Yeah, exactly. You put that on the back of a truck, a bumper sticker. Don't tell a goat how to be milked. But I'll just let him know to expect
And also, you can't milk a cow.
you can't milk a cow in Townsville.
Which we all know.
Maybe we should take him to Townsville, milk him there, due to the.
Well, you can milk
because
goats.
he's not a cow.
You can milk goats in Townsville. You can't milk cows.
Rugby league. But yeah, Cleary.
Unbelievable. Great performance.
Great
very
chin.
patient performance. Oh, great chin.
Hell of a chin.
When we talk about the great chins of the game,
Great chins in world sport.
has there ever been a bad player with a strong chin?
Very few.
It's almost setting them up for greatness.
Yeah. I mean, a strong chin is one of the hallmarks of greatness. We've always said it.
And the greater he's gotten, the sharper the.
It is getting
It's
sharper.
getting sharper.
It's,
It is.
It's same with Angus Crichton. I feel he's getting sharper too.
Yeah, his is. It
They
starts.
speak to each other.
It sometimes gets wider out here, which means that this just has to get sharper rather than it actually coming out into a point.
Like the more fucking 40-20s you kick, it just comes out.
Yeah.
Comes out. The more big games you win, she just comes out.
Comes out.
Comes out.
Now, Alex Johnston scores his 30th try in the grand final. He's the third player ever to score 30 in a season. Talk about finding the paint. He can find the paint.
He can find the paint, that
Oh,
kid.
yeah. You can set your watch to him going over the line.
Loves it. AJ fucking loves it.
He absolutely loves it. The great Ivan Cleary now. He has never won a grand final in his life. He actually said in the post-match press conference that for 45 years or something, ever since he's been involved in footy, he's never won a grand final.
That's fucking
And
insane.
he said he couldn't picture him losing it. That's how desperate he was to win it.
Oh my
You could see the pain in his eyes. He was like, looked away, and you could see it just flash the headlines, the fucking outrageous comments about he can't coach because he didn't win a fucking grand final.
Mate, could you imagine the pressure they would have been under? It would have been biblical.
Imagine if they didn't play well in that grand final, the headlines that would have just bombarded them.
It would have been less about South winning.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that so too.
And about Wayne getting under his skin and how that
Oh,
played and all that shit.
And I mean, like, that was so much of the narrative leading into it. It was like, his body language before the game, the handshake.
But it's so funny when they win, it's just forgotten about.
Yeah.
It's like,
Forget everything else.
it's like, that wasn't relevant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wayne never got under your skin. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're not even acknowledging it.
No, dude, you just fucking look
It's
the
just
other
not
way.
even a yarn anymore.
But I am happy for Ivan Cleary because, there was he came into the coaching role, set the world alight with the Warriors, taking them to a grand final.
Lost to Manly.
Then for a few years, he didn't push on to where people thought he would go. And then now he's taken a team that, as I said, 3 years ago, they were under the pump, barely even making the 8. I think they made the 8 just and then got bounced out or something because they were on the edge of it. And now all of a sudden, if they can keep that core together, Penrith could be dominant for at least another 3-4 years.
Who do they lose next year outside of Burton?
Catewell is a big loss.
Oh, Catewell,
but
yep.
they keep Kickow.
Yep.
They just... What I'm so impressed with is the way they won. You know what I mean? They didn't win with the flash that we thought they would win, which shows they've found multiple ways to win, which is a scary... If things don't go well from next year, they go, all right, we'll just go back to our attacking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Credit to Ivan Cleary.
Does Tavita get a ring?
I don't think so because he wasn't even in the squad. Yeah, I don't think so.
I think the club can make them.
Yeah, right.
Or buy extras.
In 2014, South gave Roy Asatasi a ring, and he wasn't even in the squad that year.
But he'd been with the club forever.
That's what I mean. The club can.
I think Rusty for him, Rusty was you were the first signing that sort of turned around the club.
Yeah. So massive congratulations to all the Penrith boys. We've already talked about Nathan Cleary. Shoulder reconstruction now. Onto the boys have been naughty, and they have absolutely been pizzled in fines. So Walsh, Munster and Cheese and Lewis have all been handed breach notices. Walsh, 5,002 matches. Munster, 30,000 from the NRL and 100,000 from Melbourne Storm.
Ooh.
Cheese, 15, and he also got one match ban. Cheese, 15,000 and one match ban. 100,000 for Munster, which is a suspended fine. He's got additional behavioural conditions as part of his disciplinary action agreement. He stood down from the senior playing group. He will enter and complete a 4-week rehabilitation program and will abstain from alcohol for a period of 12 months. He will also consult with club medical team and health professionals to individualise a comprehensive ongoing welfare program. Brandon Smith, 50,000 suspended fine. Additional behaviour conditions. Stood down from the emerging leadership group and also will consult with club medical team. And Chris Lewis, 10,000 suspended fine. That's sending a message.
Gone after Munster.
That's a message.
He must have some prize that we don't know
He's got
about.
a lot of prize.
Yeah, but some maybe a little bit he's got prize, but somewhere it's just the club know about it.
Absolutely. I mean,
for him to be doing a 4-week rehab course and not getting on the piss for a year.
How are they checking that, by the way? How are you checking that?
I don't know. I mean, I think they're at the point because it was only 2 years ago where Bellamy basically, I think 2 years ago, Bellamy sat him down and said, "You're only at this club because I've kept you here. Otherwise, you would have been gone."
Oh, really?
So it's already been. They've already had to go through this. That's why they've gone so hard at Munster. He's a ratbag.
Yeah,
he is a ratbag.
Loves to rip and tear.
He loves to rip and tear. It's the beauty of it, but also it's also the bloody.
It's the yin and the yang.
Can you squash the rat bag out of someone?
I feel like you need the rat bag.
I think you need the rat bag.
Can you take it out of him through measures like this?
I think if anyone, I think he's already shown signs of
or
it.
does that make you
You take away
or do you take away?
You know what? Can I use a biblical reference?
Yeah.
And I'm going to fuck it up, but as everyone knows, I'm deeply religious. Samson had a ponytail. Munster, his ponytail is being a rat bag. You cut Samson's ponytail off. I think he was very strong or beautiful. Do your own research. You cut his ponytail off, he became a weakling. You cut off Munster's ponytail, which is being a rat bag. He no longer plays rugby league well.
To take the rat bag out of Munster may be the demise of him.
I think it's
You got to consider that.
The concern
got to be
is
considered.
Storm have never had to deal with rat bags.
No, they haven't.
And so they've got Cheese and Munster, big rat bags, but they're also their two best players. And
Cheeky,
Hughes.
cute rat bags.
Yeah, but Munster sometimes, he's a rat bag. He's too cheeky and too cute too often.
Yes.
And when you don't want to be too cheeky and too cute too often.
No.
Because then it goes into are you just trying to be cute or are you actually cute, you know?
Yeah, you're just trying to be cute because you're actually annoyingly cheeky.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're cheeky, that can sometimes be cute.
Yes, absolutely.
Don't try and be cute because you're trying to offset how cheeky you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Hide behind the cuteness.
Yeah.
You don't want to hide behind cuteness when you're trying to be cheeky. You want to be cheeky first, and then if someone says you're cute, you say, "Oh, thanks."
Thank you. Yeah.
Rather than look how cute I am.
how cute
now I'm
I
going to say
am.
something cheeky.
Yes.
Like, "Oh, your hair's shit."
Nah. I'm sorry. I'm seeing through that. You're just cheeky.
Yeah, and that's rude as well.
Yeah, that's really rude. It's hurtful.
It's hurtful.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting. And I think there's also been a little bit of rumblings because he just doesn't operate your standard Storm operation. Like before they had, Cameron Smith, Cooper Cronk, Billy Slater, very buttoned up. Whereas Munster will just say shit. He'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm open to going to the expansion club." They're about to go on a finals run. He's the Storm's marquee player. He's their main guy.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
imagine if Cam Smith said that.
I know.
The world would fucking explode. And so it's just these little things that I think Bellamy understands that you don't want to cut the ponytail off, but sometimes the ponytail whips around and gets people's eyes.
Yeah.
And you got to put it into a bun.
Yeah. And we don't like man buns.
We don't like a bun.
But the Storm do.
But
Keeps things neat, tidy.
But do you not also go yes, you've got to buy players to fit into the Storm system, but you kind of also have to allow for people to be themselves. Obviously,
they've allowed for it for so long with him.
Yeah.
They've given him because I love Munster so much, and I'm with you guys. The rat bag part of him is what makes him so great on the field. He just fucking lets loose. But at the same time, I think I've got a bias because I heard how hurt Cameron Smith sounded when he was talking about it. He just seemed very they've built that club up. They've never had any scandal like this ever.
Yeah.
They have been so clean-skinned for so long.
That's true.
And think about all the things that they've achieved and think about how the Storm is a beacon of professionalism. And that's all off the back. Cameron Smith was there before Bellamy was there. And so I didn't think of it like that because I was when I was speaking to Smithy, I was kind of I did the rat bag chat. And he was kind of yeah, but look how much we've, myself, Cooper, Slater, guys before us have built this club up, and now it affects all of us. That will forever be with the club.
Yeah.
So I understand.
That's a great point, actually. I never thought about it like that.
They've been so tight. They were the Broncos used to be, so buttoned up, professional.
The thing is, though, they're not there anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Right? And Munster is.
Yeah,
and
he's
they
the
know
king.
Munster's a rat bag.
Yeah,
and
I know.
it would be disappointing because of what you build, but he isn't there.
I think it's the stupidity of the way it happened.
We'll see, right? If he can do this year off and fucking button himself up, maybe this is the kick up the arse he needed. I don't know. Because they've been waiting for him to sharpen up, so to speak. But he's always been able to hide behind youth to a degree.
Yeah.
He's not that young anymore.
He's not young really anymore, is he?
He definitely wants to. Whenever I speak to Munster, he's always trying to develop, whether it be, outside of footy with business, he's very inquisitive about. So, you can see him trying to make all these right decisions and you can see him going, I need to, but as you said, sometimes a rat bag is deep inside and he loves to party. And I love it.
You can silence the rat bag within only for so long, and then every once in a while, that motherfucker gets out, and you're like, whoops, sorry.
I think that probably the last year he got celebrated for it so much. Maybe
there is also that element. Obviously,
there's
being a rat bag, and then there's being videoed
I think it's
You
a
know,
stupidity.
Yeah.
People love Dusty Martin when he rips and tears for the Tigers.
It's just about.
But he doesn't
not getting
fuck
caught.
it. He doesn't get he doesn't fuck up to that degree.
Don't get caught holding white powder, which no one knows what
with
it is.
randoms who you don't fucking know filming you in the corner.
I did I haven't seen the press conference, but I heard that they were like, no, we don't know what it was. It was just white powder. And the Storm were like, well, we have no idea what it was. Could be Omo. And they were like, yeah, we were too pissed. We don't know what it was either. I'm like, this is
You can't really.
the greatest. Yeah. This is me staring at you going, I'm wool pulling you. Don't know what it is.
Maybe they were cleaning. Maybe
That's
it was
They could have
Omo.
been. It could have been Omo. They were doing laundry.
He had his shirt off.
He did.
His shirt was in the. His shirt was in the wash.
fucking wash.
His shirt was in the fucking wash. This is bullshit.
Red rhinestones.
Yeah.
He fucking had his shirt in the wash. It's in the video. Evidence is clearly there, and he's getting fined 100,000 for washing his shirt.
Because he had a tiny little gram of Omo in his hand, allegedly.
Fuck me dead. I mean, what I want to know is what kind of Omo that is to only need a gram to wash a whole fucking. That's some good Omo.
Well, no, because he's got the shirt down onto the table and he's isolated the stain, and he's dabbing.
Eddie is
and
the
rubbing
Eddie's
and
the,
dabbing and
he's
rubbing.
the cleaner of
Okay.
our podcast.
Oh, fuck yeah.
He's
Do
like,
you often dance between cleaning as well when the music's on? You feeling it?
Well, if I'm feeling it, if I've got a good clean on my hands, and I'm like, yes.
don't you believe that
When
you can
you
get a
nail a
stain out of
stain,
anything?
you want to get up and you want to work.
If you get a stain out, Eddie is of the belief he can get a stain out of anything.
Oh, yeah.
We've had this.
Here
he's
we
the
go.
clean. He's the king.
So you're the clean king, you reckon?
Yeah.
So you see a good stain on a shirt, you go.
Send it here.
That's why I know it was Omo on a plate.
Yeah.
So you feel like
Sometimes after you get a good stain out, you want to have a couple of lines of Omo to celebrate.
So you reckon it's just got him up and about. He's got a stain out of a shirt.
Because people said it couldn't be done, Dennett. And he said, get me some fucking Omo and I'll show you what can be done.
And so some random with a phone was like, here's some Omo.
Yeah. Here's a bag of Omo.
And
we
then-
want to get this on camera. This amazing feat.
Yes, it all
People
makes
won't
sense.
believe us.
Yeah.
People won't believe that he got the stain out, but he did.
Fuck, man.
It's like an infomercial on those morning TV. You just get Munster and the cheese off head, fucking getting
Just get like
stains out
people
of shirts.
pooing on shirts and like vomiting on it,
Yeah, we've got
weeing on it.
a rugby league coach pooing on a shirt just over here, and we're going to get the cheese and Munster to get it out with Eddie Simpson's method.
Which Munster clearly knows because I didn't see a stain on the shirt.
Nah.
And he was up there celebrating the fucking. He's like,
Squeaking
fucking
all
did
over
it,
the
boys,
table.
Fucking did it. And the
Fucking
boys.
clean as a
It was
shirt.
daytime too, so they clearly weren't drinking or anything.
And it wasn't the more. It
Didn't look like the morning light. It looked like fucking midday.
I looked like they'd come up. It was probably mid-morning.
I'd say it was definitely
think
no
they just
earlier
put-
than 10 a.m.
I probably had the kettle on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's just
Just
said,
sitting down for a nice cuppa.
Yeah.
Some Nescafe Gold.
Warming
they'd
it up in the microwave.
They'd spent the last hour over coffee and tea arguing that he couldn't get that stain out.
And he said, yes, I can. They said, no, you can't.
fucking got it out.
No,
and then
you
he got
can't,
up for a
Cameron.
fucking
He goes,
dance.
yes, I can.
Watch
And then he
me.
did.
Yeah.
And then he boogied.
So this is a fucking
This
misunderstanding.
is bullshit.
Yeah.
So, look,
me.
with that information,
Put the ponytail back on.
you put the pony pail. Yeah, exactly. But you also realise that it's all context, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you need all the information.
Yeah. And that's why you come here.
Yeah.
Which is why I think they may have got this decision wrong.
Oh, fuck.
100K suspended, though, which means he has
No.
to fuck up for that.
Yeah.
I think so.
So that's like, a suspended sentence fine to me. I'm like,
Well, I think
So
it's
I'm
like
not getting
if we
it.
catch you drinking any alcohol, like if he breaches any of that shit, if you don't go to your program, you don't do rehab. I personally think, all jokes aside, I fucking love Munster and I think he'll be back better than ever. I think
Yep.
he'll be back better than ever.
again, not a bad person, made a mistake. Fucking.
Yeah, not at all. Same with the Sir Cheezel. He's absolutely not a bad person. And I think that, like, it's actually the monetary fine, although it fucking would sting crazy. It's just with social media, it's a little bit different now. Like, there's so much more for families to see. And like back in the day, if you had a scandal, unless they saw you in person and had the guts to say something, which most people don't, I think that the shame of all that online stuff would hurt the boys the most. Now, don't get me wrong, they stuffed up, but do they deserve people hounding their family and making jokes about fucking this, that for the next 6 months? Probably not. So, yeah, look.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. Yeah, definitely not. So, it seems like a big punishment, but I understand where the Storm are coming from.
Yep.
They'd built such a good, like reputation. The last time this happened was, quite a while ago with was it Great Bromwich down at and the great Kevin Proctor.
Yep. Danny
With
Canberra.
the ATM out the front of the fucking.
Yes.
doing Omo off of a phone. They were trying to get stains.
Cleaning, but that was at night. So
They were cleaning a phone, which, you know.
And their nostrils.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, they had dirty noses.
But yeah, look, I get it. You're like, if you see Munster as like the future of the club, you gotta. This is like their last roll of the dice potentially.
It is
like,
going to be
Let's try and
interesting.
fucking get him on the straight and narrow.
It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out to the direction of
Whether he goes.
whether he decides to stay or go. Because like he has hinted quite a lot about being back in Queensland, but also like Storm is the perfect place for him. You don't want him to get lost in the rat bag. Because then it turns into not rat bag anymore. It's you know what I mean? Rat bag goes too deeply into it. It's no longer rat bag. It's like, bruh, you're such a gun.
Yeah, sort it out.
You're like the future of the fucking game. He's still 26, I'm pretty sure.
Crazy.
Young.
What I do at 26.
And with Samomo cleaning some shirts.
Dude, just cleaning shirts.
But yeah, I hope the boys are okay mentally. As we all said, they've made a mistake. They're not bad people. This is just a dumb decision. They'll be back better than ever, though. I think Munster and Cheese are going to have fucking incredible years next year. Same with Walsh. He'll be back better than ever. Now, on to...
One more thing. Do you reckon Chris Lewis is like, whew, pick some good people to do Omo with?
Well,
No one's even talking about me.
Yeah.
I just realised we didn't even mention him.
Yeah, the problem with Lewis is...
$4,000.
Suspended? Oh, no, he got $4,000. Chris Lewis is like, oh, no. Oh, no.
But he'd be on
How am I
minimum.
going to pay that?
Yeah.
He'd be on minimum, though,
Look, I know. I just more mean like
compared to the other ones.
he's in a good position because no one's talking about him. He's in a bad position because they're like, oh, see you, Chris.
Yeah, but he actually has work outside that he does. So it's actually...
Right.
It's probably actually...
Does he?
Yeah.
Okay, well, well, then again, lucky you're surrounded by Cheese and Munster.
I was just there trying to help the boys.
I was just there trying to
Now, the great Peter Sterling officially retiring from broadcasting. He's one of the best, Stuart.
fuck yeah.
Fucking
One of the best ever.
Yeah.
Like him talking, what I loved about him, he's probably the least biased. He was harsher on the Eels than any other team.
Yep.
So he will absolutely be missed. Any footy show, what was your favourite footy show moment or any moment of Sterling?
Well, I mean, like all the footy show moments. He obviously provided a very, like he could be serious. He was almost one of the funniest people on the footy show when put in a funny situation because he was serious. You know what I mean? Like seeing funny people in funny situations is always good, but him being a little bit more straight in these funny situations or dressed up weird in any of those shows.
He's
always
just so likable, you know?
Good, honest, true bloke.
Just a good bloke. Just a fucking good bloke.
Yeah.
Who I love listening to. I've always loved his analysis. His insight into the game is fucking unbelievable. Just trustworthy, you know?
Yeah.
You just like having him on.
Yeah.
Just having him around.
He's like a good mate. Like one of your mates. I think we just said this the other day. He's like a mate's dad who you really get on with. Where you're like, this guy's cool. I like this guy.
And like the mate is not even a close mate, but you could call his dad in a pickle.
Yes.
And he'd like come and save you.
To be
You're
honest,
closer with his old man
You're closer
than
with his
him.
old man.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, listen, dude, it's not really. I'm coming over to hang out with your old man.
Yeah.
To watch footy.
Like if you get locked, you don't even call your own dad. You call your
Sterling.
kind of mate dad and say, Sterling, can you fucking help us out? He'd be
help us out,
down
I'm
there.
in a
And
bind.
your kind of mate comes over and you're out the back in the man cave with Sterlo having a beer.
Having a beer and watching.
I reckon he'd put a fucking good man cave together for Sterlo.
The best.
Oh, holy
the best.
fuck.
It'd be very tasteful, but
Yeah.
like dribbly enough.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, to be dribbly enough. He'd be, he'd want to acknowledge his success, but he wouldn't have it wouldn't be a shrine to himself. So he'd have a couple of cool trinkets.
But there'd
in his
be a
career.
couple of things.
Couple of
peppered
things
around.
where you're like,
but
oh,
it wouldn't be like a wall of
No,
fucking
no
how
way.
good am I?
No.
He's probably got his old hair there on the wall somewhere.
Definitely.
Why not?
Any man that can go from such a luscious head of hair to the unfortunate, just shaving it off. Think about when he sees that old photos. Do you know what I mean? It's got to take some mental
But he
toughness.
fucking rocks both.
Don't get me wrong. He rocks both.
He was and dare I say, a victim of Big Shampoo. And had we been around when he was younger, he might still
So
have
you
the
think
hair
Big
with him.
Shampoo's robbed him of his hair?
Well, if he was washing it, he is.
Fuck.
But he was.
Well-
but he was an icon of the hair game, and now he's a bald icon because he would just rock both so well. Not many people can do it.
Oh, he rocked it all right. But Big Shampoo, you reckon's got to him?
Mate, my father-in-law reckons that had I got to him earlier, He'd still have a bit.
We
there.
had a dribbler call up the podcast this week and he's gone. He
People
goes,
believe it, mate.
He was like, listen, you guys probably brought up, we've been talking Big Shampoo for a while now, but we brought it up again recently. He's like, you probably brought up Big Shampoo maybe 2 months ago. He's like, from that day, I stopped washing my hair. And he's like, I've just now got out from the scourge. He's purged himself of the Big Shampoo, like, you know, the situation that Big Shampoo got his hair into. And he's like, I'm now clear and my hair's washing itself. And he thanked us. Yeah.
So what do you reckon is bigger, the military industrial complex of USA or Big Shampoo?
Big Shampoo.
Silly question.
Big Shampoo.
Big Shampoo.
It's not even close.
So you reckon wars have been started over do you reckon that was the reason why they invaded fucking half the country, half the world?
Look, you would have no idea at how deep the influence of Big Shampoo runs.
A lot of beards over.
It permeates all of society.
And they are follically gifted in the Middle East.
They're a hairy bunch.
Follically gifted.
Yep.
Strong beards. Strong mane of hair.
Yep.
Maybe it was all Big Shampoo.
Mm-hmm. And they couldn't get it over the line. They got kicked out.
Yeah, they got, get out of here. We love our fucking strong hair and strong beard. Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out.
Fucking Big Shampoo. Sterlo. The great Sterlo went down to Big Shampoo. You know what? Joke's on you because he rocked it anyway.
That's it.
You know, you can't even beat the great Sterlo.
Nah.
He'll be fucking missed though. Good Lord.
Oh my God.
So is he done from broadcasting?
Everything.
No, still on Triple M.
Oh, thank God.
I did some Dior.
Oh, he is?
He'll still be on Triple M.
That's good.
Okay.
You got to have Sterlo somewhere.
I need his voice
Yeah.
somewhere.
He can't be lost to the game altogether.
But
ATG.
I'm just trying to think, like, so you'll have Gal, you'll have Gus, you'll have what?
Freddie, Joey, Lockie, Thurston.
Who's going to replace Sterlo, though, you know?
Billy Slater, I think,
He's
is a gun.
He is a gun.
He's the best of the sort of new crop of...
I might be biased, but I also think Cameron Smith's a fucking gun.
Oh, no,
too.
Cam Smith's good as well. But Billy ahead, in my opinion. Maybe it's because he's been retired longer, and so it's like he's already in there.
Well, Smithy's very, like, cruisy. He's like, man, he's not, like, angling for that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Billy Slater was, like, he's also really articulate.
Yes.
Whereas some of the exploits when they get out, whew,
dude, how about JT not giving the
that's
mic?
the best. That's the best.
So funny.
Best post-match interview I've ever seen in my life.
And his
have you
face,
seen it?
Have I seen it? I've watched it about 50 times.
Yeah,
I've shown everyone that I fucking
good.
His face when he's getting screamed at from the producer.
And he's like,
just
what are
like,
you
wait,
fucking...
what? And it's dawning on him. But then how fucking filthy he is with himself.
Yeah, he's so angry
He's
with
like
himself.
furious with himself. I'm like, yes, JT. Such a professional.
So good.
That's why he's so filthy.
I love it because it brings like personality to everything. It adds to the fucking yarn.
But he has so much personality in his facial expressions.
Oh.
So like he was just reading it.
He even did these
what's
ones.
happening.
He even did these ones when he like handed like that.
You could hear what the producer was saying just by the look on his face. And it was just perfect.
He's gone.
Yeah.
And he was like,
and then looking at the camera like, what?
oh my God. That was
I fucking loved it.
Fucking so good. And
Yeah.
didn't he called Cam Murray the co-captain of the Rabbitohs or something like that? Like
Yeah,
he said,
instead of the Penrith co-captains, they said that South had co-captains, but South only have Adam Reynolds.
but didn't Joe Thurston say to him, what do you think of your co-captain leaving or something like that? And Cam was like, what?
Yes,
What the hell?
Cam was confused as fuck. Yeah. JT had a shocker.
But I
But a
love
great
that.
shocker. Yeah, definitely.
I like a lot of people like, oh, it's professional TV and that. But I think moments like that, obviously you don't want them every fucking game because then you'd be like, Matt. But I think that adds to the moment. It kind of like expresses how intense the whole situation is. Like, for example, when JT had that moment, all Isaiah Yeo was saying, oh yeah, we dug in and, you know, like all the cliches.
Yeah.
You know, so if we had have done everything right, all we would have got was a bunch of cliches from Yeo.
It would have been forgotten.
Yeah,
As soon
instead
as it was said.
we got the great JT. Fuck, that was so good.
Yeah, Paul Gallen was losing.
Yeah,
Oh
he
my
was.
He was losing it, mate. He could not get enough.
Oh fuck.
Gal's good as well.
I like Gal.
Oh, I like Gal as
Gal
well.
gives. Yeah, he's not,
He doesn't fuck around.
He doesn't fuck
this
around.
is
him
my
and
opinion.
Gus.
Take it or leave
I think
it.
him and Gus are really good on the NRL.
Yeah.
Together
fucking
when they
100%
sit
footy or
opposite,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, and they go at each other.
You can
with
tell
like,
they're taking the piss out of each other too.
Yeah, 100%. But like Gal doesn't mind giving his opinion, and I think that's obviously that is so important in those sort of positions, right? Like you've got to be giving your opinion.
Well, what I find like his ability to not be rattled from the noise So the whole yarn about him saying that the Queensland's the worst side in 40 years, he never even said that. And yet even after when like he could have said so many times, I didn't say that. He just rolled with it. And I was like, there's a bloke that doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Even though he didn't say it, but it's been attributed to him. It was a journo, wasn't it? Who was it? Bulldog or whatever his name is?
Dean Ritchie.
Dean Ritchie.
Bulldog.
Yeah, Dean Ritchie. So it wasn't even Gal. Gal just said like, oh yeah, it's probably like, it's one of the, when you look at that on paper, it is one of their worst sides or whatever. He didn't say it was the worst side in 40 years or anything like that.
It was the worst side in 40 years, though. So he's fucking right.
We fucking said it.
But like the guts to like not even though you didn't say it, not to constantly be like, I didn't fucking say that. I didn't fucking say that.
Yeah.
He just like, was like, whatever.
He's very comfortable with who he is, which is what I like.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it certainly doesn't hurt if you've won a premiership and a shield and you bash people.
I love how he's open about with the boxing. He's like, if they're going to pay me enough, I'll fucking do it.
But I mean,
fucking love that shit.
It's like it's refreshing to see how open he is about that. But it's also like it makes so much sense as well because it's like I've had a career, I've had a Hall of Fame career. As if I'm just going to go into boxing for the love of the sport. I'm doing this for money. I'm not getting paid contracts anymore. And now he's probably earning more money boxing than he ever fucking did.
Yeah, fucking oath he would be. His next fight will be massive, massive. Also,
against O'Shea Ole.
O'Shea Ole. How fucking funny was that from Vlandis? That was hilarious.
Also best dressed at the event.
But like, how did the chances of him mispronouncing his name like a lad? How? Yeah. You know what I mean?
I just don't know how you get O'Shea from Josh.
Like, did someone stitch him up?
O'Shea from Josh.
Yeah.
That's pig Latin for Josh.
Is it?
It's O'Shea.
O'Shea, yeah. O'Shea.
What did he say?
O'Shea.
O'Shea.
I honestly didn't know he was even talking about Alloy when he said it. I just went, oh, fuck, there's a player I've never heard of.
But like for him to say it like a lad's name.
If it's similar enough.
Ole.
Yeah. Maybe he's been stitched.
He probably was stitched.
It'd be a hell of a stitch.
Please reach out. If you stitched Landis, let us know.
Stitch the fucking shaman, you dirty dog.
That is dirty dog.
Oh,
fuck me dead. That's a monster kind of thing I could see happening.
But that's bordering on more cheeky than cute.
Yeah.
If you put the fucking boss under the spotlight like that.
See, I reckon it's cute. I'm going cute.
You reckon it's
cute? That's cute as fuck. The big dog, and you get him to say a lad's name, national TV?
Yeah, but it depends. In isolation, maybe it's cute. But if you got priors, starting to get a little too cheeky.
Cutie patootie. No. Cutie patootie.
No.
Cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's disgraceful. You need to show more respect for your elders.
What were we talking about? Sterlo, the great Sterlo retiring. Yeah, congratulations to Sterlo. Obviously, know you watch this. There's no doubt in my mind that Sterlo watches this.
Sterlo loves YouTube.
It's his favourite show.
Yeah, I think so. So, cheers for the career, Sterlo. You've been fantastic, and be soon.
Be soon, Sterlo.
Now, where will the great Wayne Bennett be in 2022 and 2023?
I think in 2022 he's getting some sun.
Oh, he's sun his dick.
I think he's sunning the hog.
Wrinkly sack of his.
He needs some R&R, Big Wayne.
Yeah.
Like he's been you want to talk about hard worker?
But the guy's 100 years old.
He's 100 years old and he's still going tooth and nail.
The Prems.
Just lost a grand final. He needs R&R big time.
Yeah.
2023, assuming it's the Redcliffe Dolphins, I think that's where he lands.
You'd be crazy not to. He's the only bloke that'd be able to recruit for him. Like, what other coach has the clout to go into the market?
But he's like, he's back in Brisbane.
Yeah.
They can pay him shitloads of do-re-mi. He can assemble his own side in theory, right? Because you're starting from scratch a little bit. Well, you are starting from scratch.
Yeah, not a little bit. You literally are starting
No, you literally are starting from scratch.
You've got no team.
Which would surely appeal to a man that has done everything.
Yeah. What haven't I done?
Except for perhaps starting from scratch. And then if he can take them somewhere in like a 2-3 year period.
He just has to beat the Broncos. That's all he has to do. That's a win.
Then, he can ride off into the fucking sunset with.
And also, like, I think you have to have him as coach because the rivalry between the Broncos, that just increases.
No, he's got to be coach.
He will be coach. He'll be coach.
He's got to be coach.
100%. He's already they've all said, he's like, I'll coach any one of you losers if you make it in. I'm your man.
Fuck.
But I think that makes the most sense.
So 2022, you think sun the dick. 2023.
And not Sun safety either. Wayne, is it a point now where it's like, I don't need SPF 50. Give me some of that reef oil. I'm putting that
Reef
in.
oil operator.
Yeah.
He'd look good with a tan.
I want to burn.
He would look. I reckon he'd be a bit of a snack with
Bit
a
of
tan.
that reef on, baby.
Put that reef oil on the sack
Just
and watch
burn the
this
cock
thing.
off.
Yeah. Roast it.
You don't want to burn the cock off.
don't burn it.
We don't burn it off. You roast it.
Okay. Like a good almond colour.
100%. Yeah.
2022 though, where I reckon he would be really good for a year is if he just went to like the Eels or something. You know, one of those clubs as a director, or like not a director, but he went there, reviewed all the
Someone
fucking
said he
thing.
might still remain with South.
Yeah, well, I think he's got an offer from South because
Yeah.
he said, before I make any decisions, I've got a few offers, but before I make any decisions, I will speak to South first.
Class.
What is South going to do?
Well, they've
Well,
got, what's his name?
Dimitri, they got the assistant coach.
Is that locked in?
Yeah, it's all like, well, that's the thing. I think the issue that Wayne had with the Broncos was at least let him, because he loves the club, set up for life after him. Like, put things in place where he thinks that this will work. Whereas the Broncos, I think, were along the lines of like, nah, like we're doing it, you're gone. Whereas at the Rabbitohs, it seems, again, all allegedly, but it seems the Rabbitohs and Wayne have kind of agreed, like, I'll move on peacefully, but give me the respect of like putting things in place so that it goes smoothly. So Dimitri. But what is interesting is that there is rumours circulating that the Rabbitohs are now beginning talks of re-signing Cody Walker for 3 years, but he's the same age as Reynolds. And so the yarn, and did anyone really believe they weren't giving Reynolds a 2-year deal because of his age? Did anyone?
I thought it was a mixture of both. It was his age and they could only sign one of them.
I reckon it's a pure coaching decision. Like, because Wayne has said I would have kept Reynolds and he's going to be their biggest loss.
Mate, again, I don't think no one would be able to give me an explanation that made sense.
Yeah.
To be honest. Because I'm just not going to fucking buy any of it. I'm like, okay, you didn't want to give him 2 years because he's too old, because you got burnt by Sam Burgess and you got burnt by fucking...
But how did they get burnt by that?
That's what the argument at the time was. And I'm like, sure, okay. But now you don't have a fucking 7.
And you're about to sign Cody Walker, rightly so, on a 3-year deal.
And look around the comp. They're not like, there's not fucking 7s
There's
everywhere.
no tree, as you established.
There's no
There's no
start of the
sevens
year.
tree.
Even on Rusty's fucking
We
farm.
figured it out. We went to Rusty's tree and he was like, it's
out.
all bullshit.
And that was 12 months. That was 6-7 months ago.
Fucking ages ago. Like Blake Taft, we'll see how he goes, but he's not an Adam Reynolds who's ready to fucking, who's there, who can win your comps, who can win you one next year.
Fuck, he was a conversion. He was a metre away.
2 years is not fucking long.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's bizarre.
Do you reckon if it was Demetrio then, if they don't rip next year after making the grand final, do you reckon pressure just immediately just goes onto him? Like,
No, this is what's going to fucking happen. And the Guru and I spoke about it yesterday. If they don't rip next year, the same old bullshit's going to be trotted out. Oh, Wayne left the club in fucking disarray. That's going to be the same bullshit.
You reckon?
I reckon it'll be more they let Adam Reynolds go.
yeah.
No, I reckon,
I reckon for sure.
I
How the
reckon the
fuck they
yarn
let Adam
will
Reynolds
be
go?
Wayne fucking gutted the club. I mean, who knows? I know you're right. The pressure will be on Dimitri. I'm not saying it won't be, but I think that internally what clubs tend to do is create the yarn of let's blame the guy that's not here anymore, because then we don't look like we've made.
But haven't
inroads.
South to date handled themselves quite well when it comes
absolutely.
to Wayne?
But like the Broncos tried to do it, the Knights did it, the Dragons did it, the
did
Bulldogs
the Dragons do it as well?
Yeah, to an extent. The Bulldogs did it with Desi
They
Hasler.
certainly did do it with Des. Now look what's happening.
Yeah, I get you, but it seems to have been so amicable this time.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you.
You know,
Yeah.
Dimitri's there, and like I might be here in an advisory role. I think the glaring thing for me is Adam Reynolds.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm with you.
That motherfucker rips and tears. He's unbelievable.
He's literally
and you're letting him go. When
And
you
if- but
you
that's
could
what I
win a
mean.
comp
If
next
it was
year
a
if you kept him for
Demetrio
2
call-
years.
Yeah, yeah.
For 2 years.
If it was a Demetrio
I don't
call and
get
they
it.
suck,
Yeah.
you're going,
1 year.
excuse me, buddy.
You couldn't budge over 1 year.
It's crazy. And they have Latrell next year back ready and firing. Like even if I'm the Rabbitohs, like I'm sacrificing. Let's say he doesn't play in that second year because he's injured. Even though the stats don't back that up, he's actually averaged like 20 games a year for the last 5 years. To have another shot at a Prem, wouldn't you almost sacrifice that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's their third year, because like can you really see the Rabbitohs going to a grand final without Adam Reynolds next year? Maybe, but the chances without a guy like Reynolds kicking his dick off all fucking week.
It's a rebuild. They're out. They're done. It's a rebuild. Premiership window closed.
Well, you just look at it this year. Look at them. Look at the Rabbitohs this year in their finals run. If you take Adam Reynolds out, would they have made the grand final?
I don't think so. It's a ballsy decision.
Can he backflip on the Broncos yet, or is that?
You would love that, wouldn't you?
Are you licking your lips?
Love that.
Oh, I can't wait. And I don't think that it's going to take us to straight away. It's going to be great. It's just we've got Kurt Catewell, Adam Reynolds, both grand finalists. They're going to bring standards that we need to.
Are you top 8 now? Is that the benchmark?
8 to 10.
You don't have much confidence in your team.
No, I'm just a realist. We've got
8
a
to
young
10.
side. We've got a young
You
side.
said you were going to win this year.
I don't remember that. Did I say that? I don't think so.
I think you were bloody saying the Broncos, year of the ambush, going to win the comp.
No. The ambush is coming, but I'm not going to tell you when it's going to happen.
You know who's going to win the comp next year, don't you?
Yeah, who?
Have a guess.
I think Roosters will be hectic with all the players, right?
No.
Keep going.
Wrong.
Keep guessing.
I think Storm will be red hot.
eh.
Okay. No, I can't think of it. The Panthers again. I think back-to-back Panthers. I think it's going to be good. Cleary.
Little
team called Manly.
Yeah.
Little team.
Northern Beaches.
Yeah, I mean they had an incredible year, but
Thank you. It's very
when
nice
it came to the business end, it was tough times.
No, it wasn't tough. It was young
It's a
kids
young
getting
team.
finals experience.
It's a young team. Everyone said that about Panthers. Fuck, you can't win it. Too young, too inexperienced.
They're
And
way older.
They
than
came
Panthers.
home. They came back a year later, ripping and tearing.
I reckon Broncos next year 8 to 10. Then the year after that, we recruit 1 or 2 more players. Then we're top 4 again
Okay.
because all those young boys together.
Yeah.
So give us 2 to 3 years when those young boys get a bit more experience, and then we're just sucking and fucking
I think jury's out on Kevy.
Yeah.
on him
That's what
sucking
I
and
reckon.
fucking.
Well, no, I think Kevin probably suck and fuck, but I don't know if he can coach. Jury's out on that.
Nah, jury. I don't think the jury's out on that.
Well, the jury's
Mate, the
not
jury's out. The jury was out on fucking Ivan until a day ago.
Exactly.
in. So the jury
That proves
should-
my point.
that it
And
should be
Ivan's
out on
but
Kevy.
Ivan's fucking made
So-
3 grand finals
Yeah.
to that point.
Yeah, I want the jury out. Then.
He was still out.
So the jury is out then on Kevy.
Certainly not
in your context, it is. But I didn't think the jury was out on Ivan. I thought Ivan could coach. But in the way your definition of jury being out, I'll agree with it.
Not confident in this coach.
Jury's out.
But yeah,
that.
what about an advisor role at with Tigers or some shit? Fuck somewhere.
Bro,
Mate, if
fuck
someone
that.
if he wants to do an advisory role, run it as a consultant, come in and run an eye over how they recruit, just as an example, that's worth its weight in gold.
Oh yeah, but
If
you
I'm
wouldn't.
Tigers, I'm fucking ringing. He was going to go to Tigers.
But he could do that for like 3 months.
Yeah,
surely.
absolutely.
Then he can sun.
Well,
Sunny's
you
dick.
can sun. You,
You,
as a
you
consultant
give advice in winter and you sun
in summer.
in summer. Weird, huh? You go far up north, you can.
You can sun all year.
Sun
Sun all
year-round,
year,
mate.
year round. Now, the Aaron Woods to the Dragons. Rumours have surfaced that he is headed to the Dragons. It seems like Dragons have, someone commented laughing at me, but it does seem like it. The Dragons are going like the money ball route of trying to get bargains. I don't know what's so funny about that, but it kind of does it not seem like they're trying to get bargains from other clubs?
They're definitely getting good prices.
They got McCulloch on a bargain. They got Jack Bird on a bargain. They're trying to
probably.
get. They got Maguire on a bargain. Probably they're going for Aaron Woods. I'd assume on a bargain. And I don't mean Moneyball exactly the fucking the formula that Moneyball used. I'm just saying they're trying to find guys that probably over deliver for how much they're being paid and then build on top of that.
Yeah.
Because Aaron Woods is that guy. He's a solid front rower.
Yep.
Yeah. He is. And what? And they're just pouring all their cap into Ben Hunt and
I think they're
DeBellin and
I think they're trying to.
who else are they spending big money on?
Well, that's what I'm
Jack
saying.
Bird, maybe?
I think they're trying to free everything up to then aggressively. I could be wrong, but the plan from outside looks like Griffin's trying to get them as a finals footy side, just a finals footy side. That's it. Not shooting for the fucking tippity top, and then going into the market with good cap. With a good cap to go. All right, we're a final side. Let's go big and get X player and X player here, because all of their buys have been very middle of the road, safe kind of purchases.
Yeah.
So I just think that he's trying to first balance his cap out and then rebuild the club from there, rather than going Hail Mary, $1 million player, see if it works kind of thing.
It's a real build.
Yeah.
You've got a couple of handy juniors that we've talked about before, don't they?
Sloan, Amone, and Sullivan.
So then that's part of it. Mature
all part
those
of the build.
boys up. Then
Yep.
if we can bring in someone really fucking elite that can
Gun fullback.
Do you
cut
reckon
us
like
out.
Anthony Griffen hates barbecues now? Like if someone
Like
says come,
triggers him?
like if someone says, "Oh, you want to come here for a barbie?" He fucking throws his phone.
PTSD?
Yeah.
I think so.
Essentially, I got a barbecue for Father's Day, and I don't have I feel bad for him if he got PTSD because I'm now like I didn't really barbecue much. Now I'm like a barbecue.
You're a barbecue guy.
Yeah, I'm a barbecue guy.
Yeah, you saw it as like a bit of a fucking.
I didn't see it as anything. I was just more like I felt like I was
chore.
being
Really?
well, like as in I was being purchased. Like, oh, here you go, do all the cooking. Now I'm like, oh, I'm a
Get
barbecue.
you out of the
guy.
house, mate.
Well, yeah, I mean,
know
it gets
what I
me
mean?
under like my stoop.
So
Get you
barbecue,
onto your stew with that.
barbecue picnic or just barbecue?
no, I like to just barbecue. You know, cook.
Is
for
it a
dinner.
manly thing? Like,
Yeah,
I'm a
it
fucking
is.
bloke.
Except the barbecue is so small that I've only had it since Father's Day. I want a bigger barbecue now because I feel like
Shit.
I think there is a difference between a barbecue, like attending one, and just whipping on the Weber to fucking cook
and
up
that's
some
where
meat.
I'm still at. I'm still very much at like a.
Are you punished though to like, oh, do you like the fucking sausages? Give me
No.
your feedback.
I'd prefer to just be told they're good than ask and be told they're bad.
So you're not handing out like sheets of like rate out of 5, give me your comments.
No. But I'm still learning my craft.
Okay.
I'm fucking things up. I'm learning. I'm growing. But I also I need a better barbecue now.
Ooh.
It's the only way to get better.
Wow.
Don't get bitter, get better by
Yeah.
buying better.
Buying.
okay.
It's an old barbecue.
Yeah.
So
adage.
is there any like
Reach out, big barbecue.
is all big barbecue? That's fucking.
You want
dangerous.
what, like a fucking
Some big fucking
50 burner or
12
something?
burner.
Yeah.
So you
Weber.
think big barbecue got into the Dragons fucking last year and got Vaughan in that to fucking
Fucking
have
oath they did. Of course they did. Why do you think everyone was going there? Obviously the microwave dinners, but it was the barbecuing as well.
Oh fuck yeah! I want to go for a good cook up.
Yeah.
So as an anti-barbecue man, do you feel like you could have a conversation with Hook being like, look, I know you got PTSD when you ever get invited around for Barbie.
Come round to mine
Yeah.
and let me show you what a barbecue. Let me reformat your brain.
Well, do you want to give an official invite to Hook?
Hook, you're welcome to come to my place, mate. I'm gonna he's got to bring the meat.
He's got to bring it.
Yeah.
He's fucking got PTSD. He lost his whole
knock
season.
with
over
your
it.
elbows, bro. That's what it's about. You go to
Holy
someone's house, you
shit.
knock with your elbows. Bring over. I'm not drinking at the moment, Hook. I don't know about you, but you're more than welcome to come to mine.
What a
bring
shit
the meat.
barbecue.
This is I don't know. If,
A
like,
shit barbecue.
in terms of trying to
Invitations.
bring a bloke back from
Yeah.
the fucking.
Oh, I'm not trying
from
that
the
hard.
cusp. Bring your own meat, no beer.
Yeah, bruh.
Is
Shit barbecue.
like
a horrible
not
barbecue,
really.
isn't it?
It's not really moving the needle.
Is that
I
even
mean-
technically a barbecue?
No.
You know what though? Like, I also don't really want Hook at my house, if I'm being honest.
So after everything that man has gone through,
It doesn't bother me. Like, fuck him. He's a Dragons coach.
you're a fucking cold operator.
I'm saying I'm going to teach him how to use a barbecue. Teach a man to fish.
Well, he might
eats
know.
for a
He might know
lifetime.
how to use one, but he's got
I don't know if he
PTSD.
does.
He was seventh. They were seventh. Everyone had them as last. And they had a barbecue, and then everything exploded.
Okay, you know what? How dare the fucking Dragons sully the name of the barbecue by going, by round 7 and then we had a barbecue and the barbecue's the reason. They do this every fucking year, Denon. Pre-barbecuing, the Dragons do this every single year. And then now they're trying to blame a fucking barbecue, a utensil that has changed my life for the better. I think it's fucking disgraceful. And if Big Barbecue want to reach out
I think
to me,
Big Barbecue's already got you.
I'm saying I'll continue to sing the praises of Big Barbecue. It's obviously got to be big and it's got to be a barbecue, but
Look, if you've got a store that has a barbecue, reach out. And we'll say whatever store gave it to you.
no, of course. I'll fucking gas up the, no pun intended,
See,
barbecue.
that's an insight into how intelligent you are with your jokes. On the cuff, you just nailed it.
Sorry about that one, but reach out, Big
Don't say
Barbecue.
sorry. That's beauty. I mean, if that's not a good pitch, I don't know what is.
12 burner minimum.
He wants a 12 burner. Give the man a 12 burner.
I don't even know.
I would say this though, just around the selling of the barbecue name. I don't think a barbecue was lit at that barbecue. That's what I don't.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
So you reckon it's the whole thing is a
We've already
conspiracy?
said before it was a microwave dinner. It was
Yeah.
a microwave.
A microwave
party.
What do you
dinner
mean
party.
by microwave dinner?
Well, back in the what do you mean? What do I mean? I mean they cooked their dinner in the microwave.
microwave.
Okay, so they had a lot of plates. That
Back
they
in
put
the 80s, microwaves were in vogue.
Okay.
Yeah.
They were fucking everywhere. And if you didn't have a barbecue, you
had
weren't
a
keeping
mic-
up with the Joneses. If you didn't have a
Joneses.
microwave, you weren't keeping up with the Joneses,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
There used to be fucking cookbooks, microwave cookbooks. You
Yep.
could do roast in there. You could do fish in there. You could do lamb. You could do fucking your veggies. You could
Omo.
do your omo in there.
Omo in there.
Well,
you could warm things up in there as well.
yeah.
And
Jesus.
It was
I
good
know.
for warming shit up.
What
Now-
does warming?
in
what does
some
that do?
parts of the country, the art of the microwave dinner has not been lost.
No.
And it's one, you
Well,
know,
it's huge in rugby league.
it's huge in rugby league. It's huge after a big win.
yeah.
And the boys, led by Vaughan, who is a fucking proponent of the microwave dinner, was like, come over, we'll have a barbecue, but it'll be actually more of a microwave dinner.
Yeah.
And we'll drag the name of the barbecue through the mud.
Through the mud.
Fucking hell. So
That's what happened. That's the reality. of
wow.
the
So you
situation.
think he might not even own a barbecue?
I'd be shocked if he I'd be shocked.
Do you think he owns one, mate?
And
you
so
think he did?
the microwave dinner
The
part.
boys weren't out the back with the fucking lid up, ripping and tearing, were they? They were inside, next to the microwave,
Curtains
under
closed.
the bed.
Yeah.
Curtains closed.
Curtains closed.
What barbecues do you know of that you use inside?
That'll
think
kill
so.
you. You use a barbecue inside, another tip for young barbecuers, it'll kill you. You'll asphyxiate.
That's not how they work, mate.
No.
Barbecues are outdoors.
so basically,
microwaves
Indoors.
Wow. That's a scoop if I ever heard one. To think that.
It just makes sense,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Well, I thought they had a good, innocent, nice barbecue with their mates.
Nah.
A couple
No,
of
no.
beers, a few quiet ones, got a little bit loud, and they got in trouble. That's what I was thinking.
The
But
neighbour was quoted as saying, they came out, we saw them coming in and coming out.
And it was just the hum of the
And you
microwave.
saw the heart of the microwave.
they heard this. Deet, deet,
Yeah.
deet. Did you
every
used to-
fucking
Did you
5 minutes or so.
Did you used to try to get it on zero before it beeped? You know how you could like stop it
Yeah,
when it
I
hit
remember
zero
that.
before the beep noise?
Yeah, because you want to be quiet,
Yeah.
extra quiet.
Yeah. So
Oh,
you
yeah. You don't want people knowing you're heating up
Shoot.
microwave dinners.
Well, this is when I was fucking 10 years old.
Well,
so
I mean, like, you know,
the missus in bed.
well, if you're up at 6:30 and you want to
Microwave dinner for breakfast.
Did you ever put Wheat Bix in the microwave?
Why would I do that?
You can make them hot.
really?
What do you
Did
mean?
you
Is
know
it
that?
with milk?
Yeah.
Of course you make them hot if you put it in the microwave. You make anything hot in the microwave. Like a dinner plate. But so what the fuck what would it do with the Wheat Bix?
They go like soggy,
But, so it's just like warm. You could just pour
Well,
warm
maybe
milk
they were on the
onto it.
Weet-Bix then.
possibly.
They're athletes. How many Weet-Bix do you
How
have?
many Wheat Bix you do?
Yeah.
Do you reckon that's what was happening?
Well, look,
Do you reckon they were warming up Wheat Bix? They might have been.
I reckon they were.
I'd never heard of warming up Wheat Bix in the microwave. Why don't you just pour warm milk onto Wheat Bix?
Don't know. Just telling you how it was done.
Look, I think that. Look, I'm going to take your.
How
on
would you warm
board.
the milk up? In the microwave?
Stove?
Stove, yeah.
Your stove operator.
The microwave, I would say this. I think the microwave used less now than it probably ever has been.
My old man's like, why
I
do you
think
have a
it's- I think
microwave?
I think it's now used
Solely
for one thing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
One thing only.
My old man's always like,
Warming
where's your
place.
That's the only
microwave?
way
Like, I don't
they
have a
sell it.
fucking microwave. I don't need a microwave. Could do with one, but I don't have one.
So you're trying to say you're not a microwave operator?
Look, once
you have one?
Once you have kids,
You don't have one?
Microwave dinners at home are less and less frequent when you have children. I'll tell you that.
But do you have a microwave now?
No, I don't have one. I rely on you and your microwave.
I've got a microwave.
Now, Tyrone
Flat out. Just joking.
Tyrone Peachey to the Tiger rumours. Raiders also offered him a deal.
Go to the Raiders, dude. Go to the Raiders.
Oh no, Tyrone Peachey down in the cold. He shakes those hips, and sometimes you can't
reckon
shake
he's a
the hips
warm
in the
weather
cold.
operator?
I think he's a warm weather operator.
Yeah,
It
but
gets pretty cold in Sydney, though.
nowhere near as cold as bloody Canberra.
what's colder though, like being at the Raiders or like the atrophy that your body would get playing for the Tigers? Like, let's be honest. Talk about freezing.
Put it this way. What's better for his career?
Well, I mean, Raiders they had a tough year last year.
Bro, the Tigers? No
I'm just trying to put it in perspective.
But
I'm just
what's
trying-
worse?
Look, I think Tigers on the rebuild.
They've been saying
Clearly.
that for a while. But like, you know, you go,
Been rebuilding since 2005.
you go, Tigers are in Sydney, so the location good, team shit. Raiders in Canberra, location shit, team good. Ish.
Be interesting. And Tyrone seems like a guy that likes to have a bit of fun. Is Ricky? I mean, Madge and Ricky are both extremely hard trainers, so that's going to be.
Fucked either way.
But you know what?
You are fucked either way, aren't you? I'm a big Tyrone fan, though.
Oh, 100%.
So I want to see him out there shaking his hips. I would say this. Go somewhere where they're going to encourage you to shake your hips.
yes.
Could he
That's what I think.
say, because I mean, he plays a bit of 5'8".
He's a good ball player.
I just want him to get a position
Dogs.
and stick to it. As in, someone give him a position and stick to
Yeah.
it.
Do you think he's a better back rower?
No, I think 13 or 6. That's it.
Okay.
Put him in 6, send him to the Dogs. Dogs need backs.
He'd be a good 13 for the Dogs. But look, the main thing I want to see Peachey shaking his hips.
Yeah.
They got to lock him into a position and say, shake him and shake him good. This is the position you got. But both Tigers or Raiders could use a hip shaker.
Fucking oath they could.
Not many hip shakers at the Raiders.
They're more up and down kind of blokes.
Yeah. Who are their hip shakers?
Well, you've got
Chance, would you say?
Tarpner, who I think moved into.
He doesn't really shake his hips that much.
Well, I'm just saying at the 13 role.
Sean shakes.
Oh, Chance shakes his hips.
Chance
He's one of
shakes hips.
He's one of the great hip
White,
shakers.
not like a.
He's not a
He's
hip
not a hip shaker.
Sam Williams has never shaken.
He
a hip
hasn't.
ever.
He doesn't shake
He's
his
just
hips.
his bones.
He
are
doesn't know
solid.
what rhythm is, to be
No,
honest.
no. He doesn't have hips. He's actually the first rugby league player not to have hips. He's got legs that go straight from his spine down.
That is actually true.
He's like a paddle pop stick.
But
Kroger doesn't shake his hips.
oh, he doesn't shake his hips.
No, he doesn't.
Great toots. The great toots.
So what I'm saying is just casting a quick eye over the Raiders setup. Maybe you need a hip shaker.
I think that he'll go better at the Raiders because I just think that he's got more to work with. You know, like Tigers are struggling, whereas sometimes if you're just a hip shaker at a club that is already struggling, sometimes it's not good to just shake your hips.
Some clubs have too many. Some clubs just think we need hip shakers, and they've just got hip shakers. Like you could argue Tigers too many hip shakers, and that's me just not even thinking. I could run my eye through them and go,
That's vibe.
That's a vibe call.
That's vibe.
And we pay vibe calls.
Yeah, you got it. But I reckon
Is it patternary as well, like seeing a pattern of hip shakers, or not really?
Well, he hasn't looked at the pattern.
I haven't looked
Okay,
at the
so
pattern.
He's just gone, I know nothing.
Okay.
I'm guessing.
So vibe, you don't look at anything. Patternary, you have to do a bit of research.
Okay. I think he'd actually really suit the Raiders because I felt like without George Williams' good ball running, they really did struggle in attack at times, and Peachey can give that extra dimension.
So Raiders grand final 2 years ago.
Yes.
And then prelim last year.
Yes.
Can they get back there?
Fuck.
Or are we living in different times?
I don't know because it's like, have they mended the wound? You know, like that wound that clearly was there. Has Ricky and the playing group come back together and said, boys, whoever's wrong, whoever's right, I'm sorry for my part, you're sorry for your part. Let's go back to shaking our hips.
Let's punch on and move past.
Let's just have a fight, and then we'll move past it.
Maybe they need to fucking go around to Ricky's for a microwave dinner and just thrash it out.
Beat the fuck out of each other.
Well, not even that. Just sit down and dribble and yarn.
Talk all
Just
night.
talk all night.
There's not
Just
enough
talk it
dribble or
out.
yarn there.
I think they've done enough fight.
Yeah, that's
personally.
true. No, that's fair.
So they need a bit more dribble.
They need to
Don't you
yarn.
reckon? Just sit
Open
down
a
and
pub together. You know what I
dribble and
mean?
yarn all night.
Start a
Maybe,
business.
Ricky Stewart should open a pub.
Yeah.
I like it when the Raiders are doing well, personally.
Yes.
I think it's better for the league.
Well, everyone's like, I just love all the news stories. So it's like, oh, they're serving green sausages in fucking Fishwick.
And the fucking Viking horn gets a bit of a run. And
the clapping and
It's a
that.
bit of
Yeah,
fun.
That Viking horn's got cobwebs on it at the moment, which is sad.
How do you know that? Did you see a picture?
Well, it's just because it's not being blown.
Oh, apologies. I took it as a literal statement of fact.
Yeah, so you should have.
Look, I trust you.
Yeah, no, it's covered in cobwebs.
My car's got cobwebs on the fucking...
Really? You don't clean that?
I don't give a fuck.
But I mean, we're like...
You can't clean it. You can buy a spray and spray them because even if you clean it, they'll come back because they live behind.
Yeah, sure. But if you're just like covered in webs, at the least you brush it off.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, if it's obstructing your view.
I just don't use my car very much. Only really to come here.
How the fuck do you get around?
I don't go anywhere.
You don't go anywhere. Well, that's...
I know you think I don't work, but I actually work quite a bit.
No, I thought you didn't finish school. It's not that I didn't think you don't work. I know you work. You're the hardest worker in the room. Bro.
Well,
after me and Eddie.
check yourself.
Oh, fuck.
Aren't you scared of spiders?
Are you?
Yeah. No, they make me feel sick. Spiders and snakes, like...
I'm not into them. I can't cop spiders and shit.
I was driving once with Ella in my old car. Remember Fergie?
Fergie.
Fucking...
R.I.P.
Yeah. She was a ripper. Mazda 323, like no aircon. And
your lights never worked. Like your
nothing
indicators.
worked. We had the windows down because it was fucking summer and it was like 40 degrees. And then this big, fucking, it looked like a huntsman, man. It was like this big, just sort of crawled up. And then like should have started coming in over the car and Ella's fucking wigged out. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And then I went to sort of like brush it away. And it's crawled out and was like sitting on the outside of the window. So we had to drive for the next 20 minutes with the windows up while this huntsman is sat on the outside.
Fuck me.
Cooking alive.
They can cause serious fucking... Like, that's how, like, it can cause an accident. If a spider pops up in your car,
Yeah.
you're like,
This
Jesus.
was fucking massive, mate.
Fuck.
Australian spiders, mate. They don't fuck around.
don't
Dude,
fuck
when I
around.
moved
But
into our
that's
new
also
place...
why I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but if you got a couple of webs
Yeah, you
rolling
got
around,
spiders.
you got to get on top of that.
Okay.
Because those motherfuckers, they'll pop out of nowhere.
We've got spiders all around our house. The real estate agent, stupidly, although not because we still rented it, was like, yeah, there's a spider problem. I was like, what? So, like, there's spiders in our place. We had to get fumigated
man.
and shit.
I remember growing up out in the country.
Bruh, he admitted it on the last podcast. Someone sent us a video where he's like,
I knew
mate,
they
I'm
would send that.
I'm like I'm from the beaches of Gold Coast. We don't dog the boys on the beaches in the Gold Coast. So,
But so like,
With us, he said that.
no, he said it on the last podcast with Finchy and that.
I was going to say.
no, I said beaches in the country.
No. He was like, I'm a beaches guy.
Work that out. We said you're a coastie.
I knew it
Now
would get.
admit it.
You know, what's crazy is like during it, I knew it was going to get clipped, so I was
Yeah.
like,
So you tried to cover your ass and then
no,
everyone
I just
knew
tried
you
to
fucking
clarify and tell the truth. But so at my house, I'm just walking like up the hallway, turn right into the shower, like the bathroom. I step over and turn around, and there's this fucking huge snake that's like 2 meters long.
when?
Yeah, where I live, I actually
the
live
coast?
on fucking
On the
acreage.
coast?
There's snakes everywhere there. Yeah,
Fuck
fucking
that
huge
shit.
snake.
What was it?
I think it's like I honestly don't even know what fucking. I
Like
don't
a
know.
python or was it a snake?
I got fucking no
Did
idea.
you see that video on
Shit
Angus
myself.
Crichton's Instagram? Because after they've come out of Queensland, he's gone back with a family, wherever the fuck he's from the country. The size of this red belly black snake just getting about his garden, and they're him and his old man like, oh yeah, it's a big boy. I'm like, fuck that shit, dude.
Oh,
no
man.
way. I was in the country with a mate, country guy, and we were all at his house. Like we had all of our missos there. This was like 2 years ago. And they're farmers and shit. And we're all by the pool drinking, getting fucked up. And then this red belly black snake is like in the garden, and we're all like adult men with our missos there, and we all just freaked out and like had to call for Carter's dad. It was like we just became kids. And you're like, "Oi, Dave!"
What did he
Dave!"
do with it?
He came out and just fucking.
he leave it?
Yeah, no, he was a man about it. He just goes, "It's fine," and we're like, "Well, it's not
Because
fine."
you don't kill them, though, because they kill brown snakes.
Do they?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, but they also kill humans, probably.
Not nearly as deadly as a brown.
So
they'll-
red bellies kill browns.
Yeah. Or they kill the younger browns. It's one or the other. But they kill browns in some capacity.
Fuck.
They're fucked.
And
They're
browns
so
are fucked up.
Oh,
Browns
yeah.
will kill you.
Browns come after you as well.
Ugh. Have you seen that video? Oh, you wouldn't have seen it, but there's a video of in Florida or in America where like gators come up to houses and shit. And there's this dude, he gets like a bin.
Oh, actually, I think I did see this.
Yeah,
recently.
and he like kicks he's on like Sports Center or some shit like that.
Something.
And he like,
They put up weird shit.
Yeah, I do.
fuck, it has nothing to do with sport. And he like kicks the gator into the bin. It's fucking, some of the like that shit, I'm like, leave that to the professionals,
Well,
man.
mate,
Fuck
imagine
that.
going out in Canada, put the fucking rubbish away, and there being a fucking bear there.
Yeah, you just sort of adapt though, don't
As
you?
they're
You
all
just
like,
become
Australia's so fucked. I'm like, yeah, it is, but also like,
it's not.
It's not
It's
that
not as bad as you
fucked.
think.
Nah, no way.
there's like a couple of rules.
But like when you think about this, like where is it that has like king cobras and shit? Is that like in India or wherever? And you see like king cobras just like knocking through a fucking village. I'm like, fuck that shit, dude. Or is it in India where like cheetahs and shit? Because like
Still like babies
the
and shit
cities
like
like
that.
encroach on the jungle habitat.
Tigers.
So there's like tigers and shit just
Tigers.
running through the city. You're like, oh my
Tigers.
god.
So wild, so wild.
imagine a tiger coming into your like,
Fuck that.
Like, oh, Australia's so dangerous. Like,
like,
yeah,
there's a
right,
possum.
dingoes, baby. Dingoes and tigers are not the same thing.
No, possums will fuck you up, but they're not a tiger.
It's more like the irukandji and shit.
Yeah.
Like really subtle shit that you would never think about. Big
So, yeah,
saltwater crocs.
spiders,
There's a couple of things,
snakes.
but they're
Saltwater-
like further north.
Saltwater crocs is a big day.
Fuck that.
That's like swimming in a water hole, get you fucking just disappear.
People do all
man.
the time. There's signs up going, don't swim. There's crocs.
swim.
And they swim. And then they get fucking
Hard to
death rolled.
Death rolled.
And
Oh.
then you're gone. Imagine
Fuck.
going down
Like that.
like that's
how you
because
do it.
at that point you're thinking to yourself, this is it.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is
down.
how I
This
go.
is how it ends
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
And you know what?
I get death rolled
should've-
by a croc. I should have read that
I should have
sign.
read that fucking sign.
That would be the first thing that popped in your head.
should've read
I'm an
sign.
idiot.
I didn't read that sign.
This was so preventable.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
This is why you follow the rules. And Mum always told me, follow the rules.
Follow the rules.
And I fucking didn't. And now I'm
getting
dying.
death rolled by a croc.
I'm literally in the middle of dying,
Yeah.
learning a life lesson that I'll never be able to use again.
And you know what they do?
And
as
you know
well,
what?
crocs?
You know what's crazy?
What?
I'm thinking about this while my whole torso's gone.
Yeah.
I'm torso-less. And you know what the croc's actually doing now that it's ripped me in half? It's dragging me down and it's going to store me under a log so that I rot and then it comes back and gets a bit of me afterwards as well.
That's my fate.
That's how I go.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and fucking
So
rot under
his final moment is him underwater on the way to
under a log.
fucking.
And what's like crazy, it's like it's not even a big deal in the grand scheme of things. Like you're a speck of dust on a speck of dust.
I'll be a fucking in the newspaper for one day, and then everyone's like, eh.
But like even that, it's like we're on a speck of dust, literally on a speck of dust.
Oh yeah, we're in
Oh,
consequences.
if you want to go far enough out.
Yeah, like we are
yeah.
literally. You know what always used to wig me out is to think like how like speed of light works, where if you get far enough away from the Earth, but like look back with a telescope, you could see like Jesus' time or some shit, because obviously light travels. Light takes time to travel. Like it's so weird to think that a star can explode, and then we won't see it for 50,000 years if it's 50,000 light years away. Like like it's already happened, but we haven't seen it. So imagine being able to see 2,000 years ago happening now.
It'd melt your brain.
Fucking, but you would actually see it. Like you'd see it happening, but it's not happening.
If you could do that, I reckon, like it'd be fair to say that Parramatta fans would be going back to the last time they won a comp, right?
I reckon they should do tours to the point of when you've won a comp. So like we'll take you 10 light years away. We'll take you 20 light years away so you can watch your team win a comp.
Watch your team win a comp. Because if you missed it as well.
If you could get there instantly, right?
Yeah,
through a wormhole, obviously.
Wormhole.
And then you had a
Obviously.
telescope that you could zoom in that far. You could literally watch your team win live.
That's something in that.
Now, there'd be some people out there saying, why don't you just watch the replay? I'd be like, that's not as fun.
It's not you're in the moment.
You're in the moment. You're seeing it live.
Mate, you
But the
can hear
joke's on you, they don't bring you back. You
You just
float off into space.
It's just Eels
Yeah,
fans.
yeah.
Like, fucking,
space junk filled with Eels fans going
Let
back
us know
to
in the
Sydney.
comments
they're the only ones that took it up.
Yeah, of course they are.
Let us know in the comments section. Would you like to join our enterprise? Us and Elon, whoever or Bezos, or
Probably Elon.
Branson.
Prefer him.
Yeah. Eels,
Bezos seems like more of an animal.
yeah, Bezos like making his workers piss in jars and shit.
Well, you make your workers piss in jars.
Yeah, but that's because
He asked us-
Dave,
he
Dave
asked
wants
for permission to.
Dave's like, do you mind if I piss in this jar? We're like, okay.
Right,
Would you
sure.
like to go back a few light years and watch your team win a comp? Bloke Enterprises. Bloke X. That's our space name. Bloke
I
X.
mean, what, do you just cut us out completely? Or
well,
what do
that
you
was
say?
my idea.
I mean, I think I said.
All right, so
back.
Bloke Sport. Hello, Bloke.
What a Hello Sport Enterprises.
Proudly supported by Bloke.
Yes. Yeah.
No, I don't like that.
Okay. No,
I
that's
love
fine.
that. I think that works.
What about?
I don't think it
What
would.
about
I don't think you've got the work ethic to put it
No,
together.
no.
What about Hello Bloke?
Hello, Bloke.
Dirty
I'll play
Merger
that.
Enterprises?
Dirty. Oh, I forgot to welcome to the Dirty Merger podcast. Forgot to
Welcome.
put that in the start.
Yeah, go back fucking like half a light year or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and we'll put.
You know
that
what?
back
That's
in.
going to be our first trip. Is we're going to take you far enough away so you can put that at the front of the
We can
podcast.
put
and come back and finish.
I wonder how far you need to go back.
How many light? You wouldn't even be obviously in a light year.
Well,
How
one
many-
AU is about 8 minutes. So the distance from the Earth to the Sun takes about 8 minutes.
Okay, so we have to go a bit further than that.
So how many AUs do you need to go? You can work that out.
Well,
And then
maybe 10.
Matty'd look up. Well,
Maybe
so
10?
what, 8 minutes, 10, 80 minutes? About right.
Yeah.
So how far is an AU, Matt? You times that by 10, that's how far you go. Pretty fucking simple.
So that he can introduce us to the Dirty Merger
Yeah.
podcast.
And then we'll fly you back. Then you watch the rest of the
You
podcast.
watch the rest of the podcast from now, and we're back.
Now, Tyrone Peachey, should he go to the Raiders or the Tigers? I think he should go to the Raiders. I think it'd be a good buy.
yeah, fucking oath the Raiders.
Braidon Burns to the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs have landed another outside back.
Phenomenal
Good
season.
sword as well.
What is
Yeah.
going on there? I'd love to see what their 30 looks like. It would be like...
Well,
What,
actually, I put a
22?
post
Is
up
it,
that's
that
pretty
they,
fucking...
is it that they? There's obviously a lot of backs they're fucking off, right? Trent's gone out.
Is it all
backs suck.
perception? And it's not like reality's different to...
What we think.
Well, I do
what I
think
think.
back's probably more like bedazzled by Barrett's hotness, maybe. You know, like, so he's trying to get forwards, but
Being a
forwards...
former half himself, he's
Yeah.
probably...
yeah, it's easier to sell a back on
He
hotness.
speaks fluent back.
Well, they're
Yeah,
more
oh, yeah.
hot backs probably than forwards, so it's like hotness recognized.
Maybe
as
back in the
hotness.
day, but now, dude, I don't know about that.
You're right. Maybe
true.
you're right.
I don't
Maybe
know
you're
about
right.
Times are changing.
Yeah,
Yeah, times
fucking
are changing.
oath
So their signings for next year, big ones, are Braidon Burns,
Back.
Josh Adokar,
Back.
Burton,
Back.
Naden,
Back.
King, Max King from the Storm,
Is he a back? No.
Rabbitoh's younger fella, hooker,
Hookers
What's his
are
name?
essentially a back of the forwards.
Josh Cook, Josh Asiata, Paul Vaughan, Tavita Pangai Jr. and Dufty. So really they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 forwards and 6 backs. No, 5 backs. So it's actually pretty balanced.
But you're also having to look at the backs they already had, right?
Well, they let go of 2 backs. It's just
Dallin,
recently.
Hopper,
Oh, so they're...
Meaney. They got a Dallin, Hopper, Meaney.
I'll get the thing. I keep talking. I'll get the...
Hopper's gone to win a Man of Steel. Dallin went to the Warriors. Nick Meaney went to the Storm.
Hopper leaving to go win a Man of Steel makes me feel old as fuck.
Yeah.
Because when he was ripping and tearing at Manly and like he played fucking Origin and shit,
He was the
like
young
the hand
hot
of God.
kid.
He was the
Yeah,
young
yeah.
hot
He was the new hot kid on the scene.
who has like risen to the top and then went on the Mormon mission and then has come back.
Eddie, if I
and
was
now
playing,
he's fucking off to the UK.
if I was playing right now, the club wouldn't re-sign me because they'd be concerned that I'm too close to the end of my career. Like, you know, and that's like what Adam Reynolds is. I'm pretty sure he's the same age as me. So we're retiring. I am. And Denon already is retired.
I'm looking for one more contract.
You're looking for one more contract? Like 3 years? I'm looking for one
If
more
I get
year.
3 years, I'm stoked.
I've got one more year left on my deal. I'm looking for one more. And they are balking.
You're
at it.
you're looking for like a Willie Mason type gig, to where you parachuted into a club where you can sort of be the older guy,
Set
who
standards
set
and-
standards, and you know what you know. You've
And that's why I've
seen a
been
couple
training
winners
so
and
hard because
shit.
you're at the end. Like,
Yes.
you're showing them, boys, I'm committed.
I'm still here, guys. Just go with
And
me.
you go out and like chaperone the boys around
Yeah.
and fucking.
I can see
They
that.
look to get on the blower, and you're like, no, don't get on the blower.
No,
I'm
don't
coming
do
with
that.
No
Don't do
microwave
that.
dinners.
No
Yeah.
homo.
That you could play a role.
I definitely could, but I'm saying it's the end is nigh.
Like you're off the piss now.
I am.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Isn't it a funny
Yeah.
old world?
It is.
It is a funny old world.
Now the losses are Dallin, Zalesniak, Nick Meaney, Will Hopewadi, Atoni, Napa, Ramanis.
What's Napa
Smith.
doing?
Where's Napa going?
He hasn't got a contract yet.
Jesus.
He would snap blokes in Super League. Snap them.
Yeah, but he's still got some NRL.
Oh, no,
doesn't he?
absolutely. Like,
not that old.
I think he would be perfect for us. Like the game has slowed down a bit since mid-year, where it's gone. Like the grand final was like an old school game. It was slow as to play the ball, so he suits that kind.
So
of
what
play.
did he only get 2 years at the Dogs?
No, that
Or
was
was that 3
three, wasn't
years?
I think I was going to think it was 3.
When did they win? 18? So you're at 19, 20, 21. Yeah.
Really?
They got
Did
Smith,
he leave after the? Oh, because they went back to back and he left.
Yeah, he won the first one.
Smith,
I didn't really
Katoa, Halita, Lachlan Lewis, Dean Britt, Brad Dietz, and Adam Elliott. And they've gained Addo Carr, Max King, Burton, Dufty, Vaughan, Naden, Tavita Pangai Jr., Cook, and Asiata. So it's like 5 and 5 pretty much.
Is that the biggest turnover of any club?
I think so.
Yeah, have to be, wouldn't it? There's a lot going on there.
Brisbane Broncos have quite a few. It's probably the most. Yeah.
You wouldn't want to
it's
be
the most. Dragons are pretty big. What's interesting is Raiders have lost quite a few and they haven't signed anyone, which is so they're just clearly developing from in. But yeah, it's probably the most. So it's not too bad. Not too bad.
No. They're just more high profile.
Again, it's just perception, right?
Yeah.
And because of this narrative that we've all built up,
That we made up pretty much.
Yeah.
that we made up, that they also only signing and fucking outside backs because every time we talk about them,
They're always signing
they're
another back.
signing outside
So
back.
we're basically disproving our own bullshit.
No, I'm saying we're right.
Yeah.
But reality has indicated we are not as right as I probably would have, you know.
It's not our fault.
Try to
though,
convince people.
But it's
Okay.
not our fault that they don't report on the forwards they sign. They only report on the backs they sign. So it's really, as far as we're concerned,
also-
all they do is sign backs.
What were the chances of me fucking going away and doing a little bit of research into who the Bulldogs signed?
Zero.
None.
No, that was never going to happen.
So
No.
if you believe Eddie, that's on you.
Yeah.
But I wasn't wrong either.
No, you were right.
Because it was 5-4, so it was weighted in favour of backs.
But they also had fuckloads of backs. So it was like you're buying
I think it's
backs on
5-5.
backs.
I think it's 5-5.
No, he said 5-4.
Now, segment 3, rugby union. South Africa upset the All Blacks, but South Africa are world champions. So
The Wallabies are world champions.
the lead changed 4 times in the last 5 minutes. There was a bit of yarn about people not being happy with it's always a yarn about rugby union. It was like conversions are 3 points or whatever.
Penalties are 3 points.
Penalties are 3 points. But what is interesting is
And 4 goals.
Yes.
what is interesting is how much this has mixed everything up. Like obviously All Blacks are the dominant side, but Australia beat South Africa twice. All Blacks and All Blacks have been dominant. And so now clearly each team can beat each team. Like, as in, it's not just All Blacks dominating everyone.
No.
Thoughts, boys? Did you get a chance to watch the game?
I watched the back end of it. I did watch the back end of it. I won't tell a lie. Not on this show. I'd had a couple. And, you know, maybe my memory's a little hazy. I thought it was an entertaining game. The Springboks always fucking turn up to play the All Blacks, and it gives me the shits because every time South Africa plays here in Australia, we pump them. Always have. Like, our record against South Africa here is fucking impressive. But they just turn up against the All Blacks, and we just don't. And
no, we don't.
Fucking pisses me off.
Do you think,
like, if we just fucking turned up once, we could break this Bledisloe bullshit hoodoo that we have to bloody sit through. And I'm getting sick to death of that.
Yeah, I'm over that one.
But Tom makes a great point. If you beat the world champs so comprehensively, right, and those same world champs on paper then beat the All Blacks, it doesn't matter if the All Blacks beat us well.
No.
Because we beat the world champs and they didn't. Does that make sense?
So we're now the world champions.
Yeah, on paper.
on paper.
Because we played the All Blacks before we played South Africa. So when we played the All Blacks, we weren't world champions. But when we played South Africa, who were currently the world champions, we beat them, we take that mantle. So now
I'm not all the way there with you
us.
there, but I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Look.
It's rugby league math.
It was
In
rugby
rugby
union
union.
math.
It's rugby league math in rugby union.
It's a great point. It's a great point. Look,
There was a
not
flick
everyone's
pass.
going to buy into it.
No.
Not everyone's going to buy into it. But Tom and I buy into it.
Yeah.
And that's really all that
There
matters.
was a flick pass in that game from the South
Holy
African player.
fuck.
That was it
Outrageous.
was a divine seed, a seed from the gods.
Oh, yeah.
One of the great flick passes all time. Deserves a mention. Don't know who it was. Don't know who it was to, but I know South Africa did it.
I think Australia, the rebuild that they were kind of started probably, what do you reckon, 12 months ago? And everything went down? They brought in all these young fellas.
We've been rebuilding for fucking ever.
But wasn't there a concerted effort about bringing a lot of young guys in?
Well, we
that
got a new
weren't-
coach. Dave Rennie started, I think, this year or last year. And I think so whenever you get a new coach, there's potentially always a rebuild of sorts or like a new vision.
So am I wrong in saying that there was a concerted effort to bring a lot of young guys in?
I fucking wouldn't know, to be honest.
I think I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure you will in the comment section, but it was like when the new coach came in, like they brought in a bunch of young players to try to, you know, rebuild whatever
Yeah.
we were trying to.
What they need to do is get rid of the Giddo law and start bringing in throbbers that are scattered throughout the world, because, like, the domestic competition, unfortunately, is not what it used to be. That may take some time to rebuild, but in the fucking interim, I think we all want to see the Wallabies do well. And if the Wallabies can do better by letting players that play overseas currently that haven't paid 60 caps can play for the Wallabies.
Do you reckon that
That's what they
completely
need to do.
decimates our local competition though?
Well,
It's already
shit.
It's already
You
But then,
kinda
like,
shit.
It can get worse, you know, like
Yeah,
just pretty much non-existent. It goes back to
It'll
reserve grade.
become
But you
like
can-
the Socceroos,
but
where
you
like
can
the
sh-
best players play overseas and they come
But
back.
don't you think that hurts? That hurts our development
You
in
can
Australia?
put a cap. You could put a cap on Super Rugby seasons played, for example. Doesn't necessarily need to be 60 caps or whatever it is
Yeah.
for Australia.
you need
You
to
could
be
be
able to
like
have
you
your,
could have played. You have to have played 4 seasons or 5
But
seasons. Or whatever.
eventually, wouldn't that hurt the game? Like the local game? I'm just playing devil's advocate.
yeah.
I don't know.
think there are like yes it will, but the local game's already fucked.
Imagine how fucked it would be if like every good player just bounced.
But so I guess it's probably the way to do it would be to stop playing fucking international domestic competitions where we play New Zealand. Like the local one, where it's just Australian teams playing each other, was fucking good. And you don't know if you're shit compared to the rest of the world because you're just playing each other. So it's like, oh, this is good rugby. It's good to watch. So if you can drum up some fucking, interest that way.
Could they just bring everyone back to the local shoot shield and like try to expand that to an extent?
Shoot shield's good footy.
I think what they're going to do. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's just going to be Australia, New Zealand. They're going to do a trans-Tasman Super Rugby thing.
We'll just
that's
get
what it looks
fucking
like.
towed up.
Pumped, that's what I mean. But see, the way they did this year is they had the domestic Super Rugby, then they had the one against New Zealand where we lost every single game, I think. But the domestic
See,
one
I
was
actually
good.
I don't think it helps us at all playing New Zealand because we just get pumped every
Yeah,
year, and then
exactly.
everyone just tunes out and goes, well, "What the fuck?
Why
am
would I
watching
watch this
Yeah,
shit?
well, no, we're not going to win."
Yeah.
Whereas at least with the local, you can win, feel like you've won. Yeah, we're not playing New Zealand, but this is a local league. You know?
Yeah, I'd love it if they bought into because there's already there's existing rivalries. Everyone's already got their own club. There's a lot of narrative and yarn that you can play into instead of inventing new teams that no one has an affinity to. Not that the Waratahs and the Reds and shit don't, but when they've done national comps in the past, that's what's happened, and it's been fucking rubbish. If they're gonna do something like that, a domestic comp at home, I think they need to leverage existing brands.
Yeah, because
the Shoot Shield and the Queensland sides.
Couldn't they go? We've got the existing Super 14 sides, or I know it's not that called that anymore, but we've got the existing Tars and the Reds or whatever, and then we've got 4 or 5 spots for the best Shoot Shield and Queensland reserve grade sides, and then use that as a relegation.
Fully. You could do something like that. You could definitely do something like that.
Now, obviously, the Shoot Shield sides probably won't compete against, but who knows? They eventually could over a few years' time.
But if you're letting the good boys go overseas, which I still think you should, because it's only going to increase their level, and then the international game's good, then you might actually have Shoot Shield teams that can come in and be competitive because it's a bit of a you're not awash with talent.
And relegation, you have a smaller reserve grade comp or whatever, and then the relegation creates hype as well.
Yeah.
The problem is they're doing this now in 2021 when there's fucking stupid money getting thrown around in AFL and NRL. It's hard to compete when you're resetting to a degree.
Yeah,
So that's the balance, right? If you don't let the best players go and play in Europe and get that fucking European crumpet money because the billionaires over there fund their lifestyles and they have the time of their life, but also play good footy, and then they can come back and play for the Wallabies, or you risk them going to play for, rugby league.
You disincentivise playing rugby union because
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you're a fucking hot boy who rips and tears, are you going to hang around for 150, 200 grand?
No
Someone's
way.
offering you $1 million and a half?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, you'd almost go, you know what? Don't get me wrong, it's the ultimate honor, such an honour to play for your country, but some kids might just go, you know what? I'm going to own good coin in Europe and fuck it.
I've come from nothing. My parents struggled to put me through school.
I've got a family to take care of as well.
I can play for the fucking pride of wearing the gold jersey, or I can go and get $1 million a year.
Crumpets all fucking day.
And crumpets fucking on tap.
European
See you
crumpets.
later.
Yeah, it's an interesting, I feel like we've been talking about it for 10 years, but Union absolutely needs something.
They need us at the helm. Get us in. We'll fucking get the joint straight.
Ship us in?
Yeah, ship us in. Parachute us in.
Sure.
Now, cricket. England. The England Cricket Board has put out a statement saying they remain in regular and positive dialogue with Cricket Australia about the COVID situation in Australia. With health and wellbeing at the forefront, the focus is that the tour can go ahead. Later this week, the ECB board will meet to decide whether the conditions in place are sufficient for the tour to go ahead. The issue is the players don't want to spend long stretches in quarantine. The T20 Cricket World Cup begins in less than 2 weeks. A few players, I think, have come out and said they basically, I wouldn't go across if I'm going to sit around for fucking 2 weeks in quarantine, or I've got to be in some kind of bubble. What are your thoughts on the whole, a lot of old school people saying, back in the day they used to fucking tour for 6 months or whatever. What are your thoughts about England kind of implying they're not going to come?
They're we're not fucking quarantining. There's also the issue of for example, the states have different quarantine laws to the other states, depending where you come from.
So it's not just one quarantine they're looking at. They might have to quarantine every state they go into.
And they're that's a fucking risk. They're also the UK's went through a fucking shitstorm over there last year, and they're out of it, and they're we're not fucking doing it. And because they come for so long, they're going to come with their families and shit. I just think that they're using that element as why would we bother? Then from a revenue perspective, they're is there any risk that, South Australia is super strict, they might get a couple of cases, do they call it off? Western Australia, a couple of cases, will they call it off? Queensland, a couple of cases, will they call it off? There's a lot of fucking unknowns. Also, tinfoil hat, Jofra Archer, their best fucking fast bowler, he's not fit. Ben Stokes, their best fucking player, he's not fit. If I'm England, I'm
well, yeah.
What's to lose here? We can have the Ashes as is, under fucking even more pump up, more fanfare. 12 months later with our best players, and we don't have to quarantine, and we'll make more money.
What's crazy though is the quarantine rules in Australia. Dior Dave, our intern, was saying that his brother is come back from America. Because he's an Australian citizen and he's double vaxxed, he can come straight in and he gets 7 days quarantine at home. But his wife, or Misso, who's American but also double vaxxed, has to do 2 weeks in quarantine and pay $3,000 to be in a hotel. What? Like, how does that make sense? I just don't understand, like, where the logic...
What, do they trust Australians more, or like...
Like, what is that?
Yeah. Or like you're less likely to have it. Think about what they did to the fucking Olympians. Did you remember this? Olympians from Adelaide or from South Australia had to quarantine for 2 weeks when they got back, and then quarantine again when they got back to Adelaide.
After being tested every single day in Tokyo.
Like, what the fuck is going on?
It's all political posturing.
Yeah.
Like, to show these athletes aren't above. Yeah.
But, like, we're taking it seriously. We're not going to... Like, there's an element of, like... There's just an element where you go, this has been great. We've been taking it seriously. Obviously, everyone's health is at the fucking forefront of everyone. But, like, now it's just not making sense to do it like that.
So some are saying, English guys, pull your heads in, blah, blah, blah. You're lucky you've got a job. Are you in more of the camp of, like, you kind of understand where they're coming from?
I think they've been in a bubble for a long fucking time, playing a lot of cricket going around. Yeah. I don't know exactly what their, like, access to their family is and shit. I do, as just like a pure dribbler, they're a bunch of soft cocks. As a father, the idea of, like, being away from your family for a long time, and especially, like, the stupidity of the reasoning behind it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. If there's this... The thing that makes me lean more towards understanding where England is coming from is the fact that each state is different, and it can literally one case and all of a sudden everyone's fucked.
I could change on a dime, mate.
And so, like, if we could come to an agreement of, like, let's keep them in a bubble, but they can move within the country, I'm assuming most of them would come if that was the case.
But maybe the wives and children don't want to stay in this fucking bubble where they just live in a fucking resort for 3. Because they're here for a long time.
If they're double vaxxed,
how long
they
get
get tested.
They'll be here from, like,
December till the end of January, maybe?
November till the end of January.
So it's not just a couple fucking weeks.
No,
November, December, January, 3 months minimum.
Fuck it, cancelled. That would be crazy. So what's cricket going to do in that space then?
Well, we were looking up the schedule the other day. New Zealand's available.
Potentially.
Well, they don't have a test match on as of, like, the middle of December onwards. I think that the same could be said of other nations who they will try and... That would be why they're fucking putting this off, I reckon. The decision potentially... If the decision, like we are being led to believe, has been made, I reckon half the reason is then put in place, like, okay, we don't have the Ashes, but we've got this. Because if they come out and they go with the Ashes off, the first thing people will say is, well, what the fuck's on?
And how the fuck did this happen?
But, like, what's Boxing Day like this year? What's the news test? Like, the people will need fucking cricket.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a fucking shit show from top to bottom. I want it to happen more than anything else in the world.
I've been looking forward to this. It's also this, like, from a social psyche standpoint, like, just the general mental headspace of the nation. And I know that cricket isn't everyone's cup of tea, and there's a lot of people who be like, who gives a fuck about the cricket being on? But, like, it is such a big part of our culture and the summer. Like...
And it's the Ashes.
And everyone's been fucking locked down, and we're all coming out of it. Like, make it happen. Make it happen.
Well, it's like people that say, oh, it's who gives a fuck about sport. It's like, okay, whatever you enjoy doing on the weekend, maybe it's watching movies. You're not allowed to watch movies on the weekend. Imagine how much your mental health would fucking suffer if you had no hobby or pastime to do that. Now, you know, I understand there's a lot of gym people out there saying, well, my fucking pastime was training in a gym. You can still go out and train outside and stuff. But the argument of, like, oh, it's just sport, fuck it. No, well, it's not. It's a form of, it's a habit that millions of people have that relieve their mental health. Yeah. Just like watching movies, just like going for coffees with your mates or going for picnics, which you guys are anti-picnic now, I think.
We're just saying that the picnic...
So you're not fully in the anti-picnic?
No, I'm just pointing out that it's not all fucking, you know... It's not a walk in the park.
Because, as you said, picnics are on the comeback ever since the very specific ruling of, you know, you can go have a picnic with your mates.
I don't know the cost associated with them, but I have seen them pop up, and they're becoming more prevalent, is like picnics where they look like they've been set up for you. And you just rock up.
Yeah.
And you see some nice sort of, like, usually you're low to the ground, but there's some nice seating. Like, there's some rugs, and there's, like, those sort of, like, you know, I don't know how to describe them, like little stoop sort of
stools.
Thing. Stools, but they're like cushions.
Just on that quickly. Yeah. Just on that quickly.
They look good.
My missus really wants to go for a picnic, but I actually can't do picnics because my back, I can't sit on the ground because my back is so fucked.
That's what I'm talking about.
this
A
is
lot
what
of men don't have
The
sort
back
of
required.
Well,
to
they
sit
don't have
down.
the flexibility that women do on the whole. Like
So
Ella's like, what, you can't fold your legs? I'm like, cross your legs. I'm like, not comfortably.
Not
no.
for an extended amount of time.
My-
I can do it as like a can I do it, and then it's like now
I can
need to
lay
stop.
like this.
But
Yeah.
then neck's fucked.
That's how I do it. And then your neck goes.
So it's like
fucking
picnics are on the
nightmare.
comeback, but we were trying to work out whether the picnic is here to stay or is it merely just filling.
Do you think picnics
fulfilling a need?
lean too heavily to women? Like, you know, they don't cater enough for the man to
We
enjoy
need a
it?
bit more seating, I think.
Well, they don't acknowledge that we don't do well on the earth.
no.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like,
We need to
I'm all for
We
picnics.
need to
but
be padded or
Yeah.
propped up or the back supported. Like,
I
the amount
need
of blokes I know with back
tall
problems is
chair.
crazy.
Yeah, I need a chair. I can't go this. Even the low chairs hurt my back.
No, 100%.
I need normal size chair.
Or what about like a poolside sort of lounge chair where you're laying down? See, I could
even
do that.
But then my necks get sore from constantly having to hold it up to talk to people. You know what I mean?
So you can, you know what I mean?
Oh,
So
you mean like a bed?
one
Yeah,
of those
yeah.
ones where it's like a full recliner, so you
Yeah.
can like sit up a bit more if you want.
I can see that.
But then that's the problem, right? Is then that's the admin of the picnic. Now I need to bump in and bump out of this joint. I need a fucking van to get there.
Mate, it'd be easier putting on your own festival than
Yeah.
fucking
You
bumping
may
in
as
and bumping
well.
out of a picnic that ticked every box.
A picnic, there's a
A
lot of
picnic that
effort.
ticks every box is your house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
in your backyard.
that's what a picnic became.
Yeah, they just
a
went, you
home.
know what? I never want to leave here. I'm going to start building some shit around this picnic. Before you know it, you got a house.
You got a house.
So you reckon like what pretty much propelled mankind to where we are today was a picnic?
Yeah.
The picnic that was so good you didn't want to leave, so you had to
Because
build a house
the
around it.
reason why society kind of eventuated was nomads turned into, they actually started
Picnickers.
farming land. But you're saying, yes, farming land, but it was really because someone set a picnic up and said, you know what, I'm not fucking going anywhere.
I'm sick of walking
Set it
around
up.
everywhere.
We're sick of it.
Okay.
Let's bring the picnic to us.
And it was like, fuck, we ran out of cheese. Well, I don't want to go to wherever the cheese is. Let's just start making the cheese.
and refrigerate.
Yeah.
So I've got cheese on hand.
And
Bang.
beer can
Mate,
stay
you don't
cold.
even have to
And
fucking
beers,
go
like, you don't
and
have to I don't have to carry ice.
Yeah.
I don't have to fucking throw out the rubbish at the end. Like, you know, it's
It was
all
just about making the
streamlined.
picnic
That's all it
last
is.
forever.
The home is the streamlined picnic. And that's why the picnic, you know, has gone out of vogue.
Yeah.
It's back in vogue
Yeah.
out of necessity, but it will go out of vogue.
I think people are
I
fast.
can promise you that.
People are fast realizing why it went out of vogue.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you got to bump in and bump out a fucking festival to get it right.
And from Monday, you're allowed people at your house, so picnics are just going to be at the house.
Oh, they're done. It's all over.
Microwave
Yeah,
picnics back
it's been
Monday.
a fad. It's but I mean, it was good to feel that nostalgia, though. I think.
You know what? The visual is nice.
Yeah.
Seeing people out in the sun, having a good time, like enjoying themselves, that's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, it's nice to be out and about. I'm not saying that isn't nice. But unless you bring your fucking A game, all right, you will at certain points, even for long stretches, be uncomfortable.
Yep. And if you don't time that food right, it'll be soggy shit.
Well, name me food that travels well and that keeps well for a pick like.
It's a cheese board at best.
Yeah.
A charcuterie
But even
board or whatever.
still, the flies are about. The,
Yeah.
Ants everywhere.
the cheese has got a bit soft. Like
It's in the sun.
it's it's not great.
Nah.
So T20s, you're thinking it's done, it's off.
Not the T20s, the Ashes.
Oh, the Ashes. Sorry, you think it's done,
Yes.
it's off.
That's what we're hearing.
So the T20 World Cup.
That's in Abu Dhabi in 2 weeks' time.
Yep.
That, I think, will still go
Could they
ahead.
move the Ashes to somewhere else?
No.
No,
Why not?
Because it's
because
Australia and
it
England.
goes back and forth, back and forth, back
No,
and
but
forth.
could they say
No.
this year we're going to have it in Dubai?
No way, no way.
Really?
No.
Because it's all about
It'd be-
playing in the other nation's conditions. Also, we need it to be in Australia.
No, but also, like the revenue you would lose, it would be
Yeah.
a fucking disaster. You might as well just wait 12
Crowds
months.
are
But
also almost non-existent
wouldn't the
in Abu
revenue
Dhabi.
from the
Well, the time zone would be fucked, and
but you can have both. Like, do you know what I mean? Like if you let's say you moved the Ashes to another country.
like England, he's saying go back to back.
Well, England, yeah, maybe England, or you go somewhere
wrong
else.
time of year, I think, for them.
You get the money
Premier League's on.
you get the money from the networks, and then you have the Ashes next year. You get the money again. You know what I mean? Whereas if you just have no Ashes, you get no fucking money. You know?
Well, I think it's better, like, because it's basically a 4-year window in which we play each other home and away. So what they'll do is they'll move it 12 months, and then we'll just play back to back. So it'll probably wrap up here in January, and then we'll play again in June or July.
That'll be the only silver lining.
That's
Is
what
that I'll
they'll
get
do.
like fucking
They've done it
6
before.
months worth of
Okay.
Ashes.
Oh, so they postponed Ashes before.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
not postponed. They've moved the schedule because they wanted to, like, avoid World Cups and shit.
Okay.
But basically, if you get 2 done in a 4-year period, I think everyone's pretty happy.
Okay, sweet. Well, that is us for the season. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. You got any announcements or anything like that?
No, we're good.
We'll see you in 2 to 3 weeks anyway, guys. Make sure to follow Hello Sport at Hello Sport on Instagram, Punters and Dribblers group on Facebook. Subscribe to Hello Sport on your podcasting app. Grab a case of Bloke in a Bar, guys. Make sure to keep grabbing them over the next few weeks. And I will go and fuck myself over the next few weeks. See you later.